So, welcome to the Keepers of the Golden Gate, session 73, I think we're on now, is that right? That feels
Sounds
about
about
right.
right.
Sounds about right. Session. Oh god, there's so many. Yeah, 73.
Yeah, look at that. 73. That's a lot. Maybe we should start counting back the way now, and that way we know it would end eventually. Okay, 27th of November, this is what this is, 2020. We're nearly out in November already, folks, that is also terrifying, quite frankly. And yeah, I'm Ryan, GM, still, so I'm told. And here are the players.
Hello, I'm Adrian, and I play Arya Bluebird, the Half-Elf Druid.
Hello, I'm Sean, and I play Bastiel, the Warforged Cleric.
Hi, I'm Scott. I'm playing Crumbar, a half-orc paladin.
And hello, I'm Alex. I play Riz, the Elven Monk.
And apologies to anyone who is now deaf because of.
R.I.P. headphone users.
Yeah, okay. What do you all remember from last time?
I tried to buy things that were well out of my price range.
Yeah, we divided and conquered. We split up in Horizon. Messed around a bit. Shopping episode. All did our own thing. Plagal and I went to make amends with Arivius. We kind of came up net zero on that. Rumbar and Riz went shopping. We went to a blacksmith. I and her bird went looking for diamonds. And yeah, in the middle of that, got interrupted by Justoria.
I mean, I wouldn't call someone buying you diamonds an interruption. I'd be like, yep, here you go. Oh, sorry, my phone's still not muted. I'd be like, yeah, like, buy me all the things you want.
Yeah, we were graced by Justoria, who whisked us away to a meal where we are now. And then Dad came home and Magnus showed up.
Yeah, anything else happened that MD wants to add?
Dondra Bella is still pissed at me because I still tried to make up to her, and then it's like, nope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Seems like there's more work to do on the Thunderbella front.
Yar. I need to not get into trouble.
Yeah. Anything on the Riz front?
Just we sort of ended ties with Alvazar, was his name? Rubius
Yeah.
Alvazar? Yeah, it didn't
This
really go well.
Good
And
name.
then we connected with the blacksmith a little bit, and then
Mhm.
we sort of made a plan to go and sort of set up base at the Maiden's Voyage, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't do that yet because we're
Correct.
at dinner party right now. But that's sort of how it was heading.
Oh, the blacksmith was amazing.
Yeah. Do you remember her name?
Aganis, I can't remember at the minute. I've got it written down.
I'll
like,
be honest.
right.
I mean, that's already impressive that you got her first name that quickly.
like-
So
I've got it written down because I take notes now because I'm a smart ass. There you go.
Aww. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
So yeah, I'll again in Sidali. There you go, buddy. If you wanna.
Oh,
You were very
is
close.
that how it's like? I was really close.
Yeah, you were. I mean, I feel like you would still pronounce it the same way with what we've both got. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Right.
Look at that.
Also, apparently, picnic is spelt with an H in my notes.
Okay. Yep. So anyway, let's review what goals we've got in place, shall we? So, goal-wise, we currently have talk to Brotherhood of Pa to gain information about Pa and the Rod Horizon of Pa. We also have question Magna regarding Vishal in brackets. We also have learn where Indra Lament sent us. Form a trustworthy connection in Horizon. Establish a base of operations in the Horizon area, most likely with Charisma, the bartender. And personal goals. Right, what have we got here? We've got find out if Justoria was brainwashed like Eremos. That's Arya's personal goal. Bastiel has find out how Magna is linked to the dragon attack. Crombar has make amends with Don Drabella. And Riz has discover in what way Mark is still with us. So
Yeah, can I add something? So like when Mark showed himself at the dinner table when no one reacted, like they couldn't see him, so I realized I'm the only one seeing him.
Is this what it's going to be like? Mark is Riz, but from the future.
Why would that mean only Riz could see him?
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. I don't know. You tell me, Ryan. You wrote the guy.
What was it to quote? Is it John Hurt? Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. What rubbish? You know, like no.
Oh.
Because the 50th session of that was fantastic, quite frankly, or the 50th anniversary, I should say.
It was
amazing.
Gorgeous. I loved that episode.
But yes, so that's our goals for now, and we will see where they take us. Right, so at the wonderful picnic where we are with the most welcoming of people, Justoria. Obviously, we ended with the mild cliffhanger of Magna walking down the Guardian path towards the little marquee that's been set up, as it were. I'm probably not going to use the word marquee again. That was probably a really bad word to use. You know, we've got Riz with the mark in the marquee. No. It's like
how many marks can happen in this session?
Mark my words, I'll make sure there's a lot of them. So, anyway, terrible wordplay aside, the Wizard King of the World obviously walks towards the I guess what I'm going to call it, a tent now, I guess, the gazebo, and for
a gazebo of friendship.
For sake of narrative conclusions, Dom, aka Plagle, will no longer be joining us for scheduling reasons. I'm going to have Justoria turn to Plagle and discuss something with him very quietly. He is going to nod graciously, and then she is going to just wave her hand over him, and he's going to teleport away. So, Plagle is gone.
Bye, friend.
And hopefully he didn't have anything on him that you needed. So
that's what I'm just like thinking. I'm like, shit, he had the keys to the van.
My photo album.
Well, I would hope he waved at us in good spirits before leaving, so that we know she didn't actually, like, you know, kill him.
Well, there was no like evil Maleficent style cackling and shooting green lightning as he disintegrated. You know, like there was none of that. Not that you could see, anyway. But yeah. So
yeah, not that you're going to tell us.
Nod. Yeah, it's celestial. It's in the. It's part of fate for him to part with us this time, and that's how I'll justify it. The gods have bigger plans for Plague. Or smaller.
And yes, so Justoria then gets up, walks around the kind of cushioned seating, and goes and greets her father. And then you know, they definitely do seem very I don't really want to use the word familial because that seems redundant when we're talking about like a father and daughter. But like, you know, he takes her hands in his, you know, she hugs him. He mostly stands there and gets hugged, you know, hugs her back a little.
This is clearly a trap.
Yep. And then, yeah, she returns and she says, I am sure most of you are quite familiar, but please welcome my father, Magna. And he just steps up to the picnic area.
I'll just Crombar just kind of looks up and just kind of nods to him.
And
I think that's kind of the same sort of thing that Arya would do. do a sort of a respectful sort of like nod, trying to not put any of the questions she's got in her head in her look
Mm.
or
Mhm.
gaze or expression sort of thing,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
she would rather seem somebody that doesn't quite know how to act than somebody who is quite obviously like I didn't want to pretend to be like super respectful
Mhm.
because I don't think she can.
Yeah, I think you'd probably have the same idea that's going through my head of just, yeah, what's going to happen next?
Except without all the murderous intentions, yes.
Mhm. So are you doing that seated, or are you standing to, like, bow?
I don't know. I'll kind of like
Just
be
whatever
in
Arya would do.
between people, and
That's
then when I see, that's the thing, because she wouldn't know what
Mhm.
to do, right? And then when she sees Bastiel getting up and bowing, she'll kind of like clamber to her feet and kind of copy it.
Okay.
She's not like basically she's gonna go for I don't know how to act.
Mhm. Okay.
Totally.
And Riz.
Riz will stand and bow as well.
Okay.
Very humbly.
Okay. And then just our emotions towards one of the kind of cushioned areas, and he just again the image that I showed everyone from last time. I have sadly, obviously, my amazing artwork, and by mine I mean the artwork that I clearly acquired.
Acquired is such a good word.
Where are we here? Where did it go? Wabam! So that it isn't a tall white staff he has, it is a black staff that he carries, and it does have in like the kind of top piece of it the red, very shiny jewel that seems to have grown around the metal, the black metal of the staff itself. And he just lets go of that, it kind of like fades away, and he sits at the picnic table. And
Does his staff look? Sorry, right? Does his staff look different from the last time
No,
me and
exact
Arya
same.
saw it? No,
exact
right,
same.
go.
It's just the others didn't get that description from way back when.
No worries.
Black Rank Spear. Okay.
And he says, quite the auspicious group assembled for this meal. And he says that generally to the table.
And I'm just like, yes, I know what that word means.
Let me just look it up.
Everyone quickly goes to Google. Auspicious mean. Oh dear, that's funny.
I don't even know how to spell it.
Do you want the definition?
Well, I can read it if you want.
If student, yeah, because I don't think this is the correct word.
I don't know if you'll get this though. It says conducive to success or favorable. That last one, people.
We are speaking English, right?
It means like there's a lot of potential in the room. Like a bunch of heavy hitters have assembled, basically. Auspicious. It's going to be legendary.
Yeah, it's not just a casual gathering of nobodies.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It would be like, if Batman and Superman decided to go to have a coffee and you're like, well, that's an auspicious group, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to,
aye.
normal people.
It's just, yeah, I get where you're coming from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does he say
no, that's what he says. That's what he said.
Yeah. I'll say no response because I assume he's just talking about himself. Because we're clearly nowhere even remotely close.
You could roll into it if you think he's talking about himself or you.
Yeah.
That is the tools the game has given us to try and manage the game.
I don't know if it went through before I disconnected, but I was trying to say that I would just be looking between us, and then Historia kind of like know what he means. But I'll be like looking through people, and then at Historia.
So, yeah, that's fine. You can be kind of like trying to gain what you can from looking between the groups of how do we play this. Bastille, yeah, he definitely he didn't seem like he was being inward with that suggestion. He does seem to have been saying it to the group that are assembled.
Oh, then right. I'll reply to him then, and I'll say, "Well, I'm glad we have something to offer the king of the known world."
And he, has something that I guess resembles a strawberry, but for legal Earth-based reasons, it's not a strawberry. And munches it a bit while everybody was wondering how to reply to him, and then looks up and says, "And what would it be that you offer?"
Perhaps something auspicious.
And he stares at you for 10 seconds and says, "Or perhaps hollow sentiment."
Well, literally, I don't know what expression this is, but I haven't. I don't know. I just don't know. He's like a puppet master right now. Any wrong move we make, he can delete us from existence. I'm just like.
He also chose the word hollow, right? I can let you ride on that 22 insight. He chose the word hollow when speaking to you.
Yeah.
For a reason, right?
I feel like he can see. Everyone.
I just got that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, X-ray vision.
Or you're a giant metal man, like.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're literally hollow.
You missed it. He's got X-ray vision, guys. Heads up, X-ray vision.
Oh dear. But he's not saying it to be threatening, right? Like his tone, despite my tone, which is the one tone I have for the whole game. He's not saying it to be like, your move, dick. He's saying,
Yeah.
He's saying
disgusting.
What he's actually saying is what you said is hollow, because you've said nothing. You've just repeated his words back, trying to sound profound. And that is literally what you've done. And he's like, "That's bullshit. I don't care." That's not
I also know the fancy words. Yes.
So yeah, anybody else weighing in on this particular conversation?
So hard, man.
I'll just simply
So at this point, this is where I will remind Scott of the tools we discussed. Do you wish to talk amongst your fellow players about the ideas going through you and Crumbar's mind?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking we have a previous history with Justoria, but not really the king. So I was gonna say why has the king decided to join us?
I mean, you could ask him that. You could literally just ask him that.
Yeah. So Crumbar just kind of be like, so King Magna, what reason is there for us to be greeted with your presence at this? Is it dinner we're having or lunch?
It's like a lunch. Yeah, it's like a big. Yeah, it's basically a big spread of whatever the hell. Yeah.
Yes, King Magnum. What have we done to gain your presence at this lunch?
And he says,
"Yes, that one. Yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Here's Arya.
While we're in the company of my dear daughter, you may refer to me as Magna."
And when he says that, I'll just kind of nod at him and go, "Certainly, Magna."
He says, "And what reason does a father need to visit his daughter?"
Sorry, no, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at her. I was like,
"Stay focused, Scott."
Yeah. I'll just no reason at all. I'm merely just in awe that you have graced us with your presence.
I just nothing. There's nothing to read from him, right? At that point, just kind of, lets his eyes fall back to the table, and he gets himself, one of the jugs of various liquids, and pours himself a glass of something, possibly wine, right? Maybe that lovely honeyed wine that I always discuss at dinner tables. So
That I'm just going to drink straight.
yeah, yep. He obviously will then pour in, some of the hot water used to break it up a bit, and then
yeah, he's not a savage.
until he'll sip that. He says, "But please tell me, what brings you all to my daughter's table?"
Reunion.
And he kind of like nods, over his cup, and says, "Go on."
Arya's gonna take over. Say,
Good.
well, I was just shopping for some supplies, and I was lucky to stumble upon the princess. Of course, we could not decline such a lovely invitation.
I see.
Yes, I am definitely trying to go for the. We were in the neighborhood, and you
Yep.
said we could come over, Mister.
I mean, thing is, that's not untrue. All of that is true. That's in fact what happened, right? You don't need to be that guarded.
Yeah, but so player to players, are we trying to not tell him anything about how our past or anything like that?
I think we should just try not to piss him off. As for our past, there's not.
You do have a rich, kind of a rich history with Justoria.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as long as we don't don't question him too much on things like the
Basically, I don't think we should
breaches
tell
and
him
stuff.
anything about the UN thing.
Yeah,
unless
yeah,
he
yeah.
asks.
Yeah, well,
And,
yeah. I mean, we
I think we
shouldn't
can
say
tell him
anything
about
that.
the keep.
But I feel like some things would be rude at any dinner to just bring up.
I think the only really thing that we could really bring up is asking him about Vishal.
What about the riffs?
I'd maybe avoid that.
Why?
We could just prod him with just general news that most people might know anyway, just comment on the Dwarven King being killed, things like that in passing, rather than. Hey,
I don't think
don't
that's
know.
going to be common news, especially since you resurrected. Like he was killed and resurrected. It's I don't really think that will be I'm just thinking if say for instance if our queen died and then just kind of came back to life by mystical reasons, I don't really think that's something you're going to read about in the Daily Mail. So
every English person led
advertised.
a mass exodus after that, and maybe there'd be questions.
Mhm.
Because that's what it is. The dwarves are just roaming now. I think, milling around. So,
Sorry, let's go back a bit. What evidence of that do you have?
You say he got up and he put down his crown to go and lead, and shore up against the dragons.
Yeah, but you've said the dwarves are just up and started roaming now. You have zero evidence from that other than you have the king's crown because he, said it could do you more good than it would do him.
Did you not say he left to move away from this place because it was compromised by the dragons after the throne was destroyed?
No, I said none of that.
Oh.
Yep, it's all been something you've obviously had a dream about.
So they're all still in the forge?
I mean, you don't know. You're not there.
Oh, well then I don't not know then.
No, I stand by that you have just assumed all of this.
I guess I did assume that. He made such a massive deal about the throne being broken, meaning they were doomed. I assumed he would move away. But yeah. Okay.
So, in terms of things that are discussed at the table then.
Well, since it is as one of our goals, definitely ask about Vishal. We could even mention about how we met him at this place where Angel Lament sent us. Don't need to mention that who it was that sent us there. We can just say Yes, we find ourselves in this castle. No, not castle. This fortress where it ended up crumbling, and a god, we think, saved us and sent us to this place where we met this guy called Vishal, and then from that we can say how we ended up in like the Ashy place, and see if they can.
Oh, I think that's perfect. Really, like
Yeah,
asking
like-
him about the Ash place.
so we can say, I'll put it in Roll20. So like mention about fortress, and then got taken to a place that had Vishal at it, and then we found ourselves in an Ashy place. Like, you see that kind of logic order, rather than just going, tell us about Vishal.
I think Vishal should be last. Well, if we mention the Ashy place, he'll probably already know that Vishal was there and be able to comment on it. But I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
I like the most.
Aria, Alex.
Yeah, it's good, man.
So,
Subtle
like
feed into the
Uh,
plot, which
So
Well,
what
so
was?
let's no,
Sorry.
so Riz, tell us more about what you think should be said.
yeah, I like that, like how he said it, like bring up like how we were attacked by goblins and stuff from the clouds, climbed up, found the fortress, what happened there, but basically just to like sneakily lead into, and then we came across Vishal.
Yeah, it's like subtle. Vishal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's like
So-
like watch closely to see his reaction.
Yeah, maybe maybe Magna doesn't even know that we know Vishal, but when we mentioned like, we could have played like he brought up Magna and reacted badly, so we're curious about connection there. Like you know what I mean? We could even use the angle like we weren't there for Vishal, we were there, and then we discovered there was a connection somehow. You know?
I would definitely recommend, in general,
Do this.
that anything you ask, you are wanting the answer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's why I said it's dangerous to bring up Vishal because we don't quite know what their relationship is.
Well, we know that we're on good terms with Vishal either way now. We've agreed to leave him live and let be. So we don't
No,
really have-
I think he just
No,
let
he's
me leave
kinda
with
let
my life.
us. Yeah, that's kind of.
Well,
the
he said
gesture
you don't
that
need to
actually
be opposed anymore, and Cromwell was like, "Yeah, okay,
Hmm.
yeah." Let's
Oh
have
no, I,
this."
I didn't agree to it, but I didn't not agree. I was just like,
Oh,
this is more like food for thought kind of idea.
hmm. I think
Um,
if Magnar phoned Vishal on his Nokia and he said, "Should I slap this guy, this orc in front of me?" Vishal would say, "I don't give a shit either way." But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
This is 3310, yeah.
Yeah. You playing Snake?
Actually, no, I'm playing Snake 2.
too.
both, mate. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Snake one was better. None of this going through
Aye,
walls.
but
malarkey.
3310s are indestructible by comparison to 3210s, buddy.
That is true.
Man, these are dated references, aren't they?
Mm. Hey, sorry, what was the last thing Magnus said again?
I have no fucking clue. We've talked so much since
It
then.
was like sincerely asking us why we're here, basically.
Like why we're here? Yeah, why we're here with Justoria?
What brings us
And
here?
my idea, I believe, was the one that gives him the littlest amount of information while still being honest.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think narratively whose turn it is to speak, if that makes sense.
You guys go right ahead. Anyone could talk, I guess. There's no initiative.
Yeah,
That's exactly what happened, right? Like I said the thing about like I ran into Princess Justoria, and then we kind of like we started deciding on whether or not it's
Do you guys mind if I take the lead on it?
Please do.
Can I just say
Go
a
for it.
question quick?
Yeah.
Like we're here pretty much for a Win Horizon because of the Brotherhood of Pa, pretty much,
Mhm.
right? If you were to like group it up, do you reckon Magna would be good thoughts of the Brotherhood of Pa or bad? Is that like,
I reckon Justoria would be better, considering like she has Brotherhood of Pa as servants, kind of thing.
Thing is, if he presses us on that, then it will lead back to us uniting the artifacts for Celeste, and I don't want him to get near Celeste at all.
I don't think he can.
Ryan, quick question.
Mhm.
Is it like an official thing that like well known by everybody that Justoria is related to the Brotherhood of Pa as the person that put them together, sort of thing?
No, because none of
Like,
that's
is
true.
that an official well known thing? Oh, sorry, no, I'm
No.
misunderstood then.
The only like knowledge that Crumbar and Arya have of the Brotherhood of Pa and Justoria's connections, that while people were injured after a fight, they were tended to by the Brotherhood of Pa.
So it's not very known that she'd have a connection with them. So probably another thing we shouldn't mention in her father's presence.
Mm.
It's more that you just don't know the weight of that connection. You just don't. You just have nothing
Yeah.
to gauge it in. You just know that
Oh,
they were there.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I still think we should keep it to safe topics.
Yeah,
but okay,
yeah.
up to you
I
guys.
don't think we should mention the past stuff either. Not in his presence anyway. Right. I'll just like Crumbar, just kind of be like, doing these wee Crumbar thing, and just mention he's like, yes, well, it's great to be reunited with you again, Justoria. We have had great, so many adventures since we last saw you. We had we actually came across a flying fortress, if you would believe it. We got attacked by was it just goblins? Yeah, like
you
Yeah,
could say
yeah.
that. It wouldn't be
yeah. No,
inaccurate.
I was trying to remember if it was goblins or kobolds. I'm like, no, yeah, it was
goblins and
goblins.
hobgoblins
Yeah.
is what you were attacked
Yeah, it's
by.
like we were attacked by goblins who just appeared out of the sky, and fear of what might come after, what could be above us. We climbed these ropes and found a fortress floating in the sky. It appeared to be completely abandoned, though.
She's mid eating a pancake while you're describing all this to her.
Man, I want pancakes.
I'll clear
Yeah,
a picnic
yeah.
with her, and she's she got like very like interested, like, oh my god, this is exciting, this story, where it's going.
Mhm.
And yeah, what is it you keep saying?
Yeah, so I'll keep going and be like, yes, we searched the castle, this fortress, but it appeared abandoned until we got through this one door that things started to go a bit awry and the castle crumbled, but we were taken away. We were swooshed away by an unknown force we believed to be some kind of old god or something. But we're not quite sure who it was. But then we ended up in this beautiful garden. Ars isn't with us now, is she?
She's sat at the table.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And I would just be like, where we met our friend Ars over there.
She just waves with an apple in her hand.
I was just gonna say, I'm like,
Just
why did I
smiles.
why did I just imagine her with them with like a massive plate of apples in front of them, just like nom 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 nom.
Delicious.
We explored the place where we found
Also, there wasn't a beautiful garden, FYI.
I thought it was pretty.
I mean,
and there was green things.
no, everything.
I know.
There was no life.
It had a fountain. That makes it a garden.
Okay, fine. Yeah, there was a fountain. There was running water. Yep.
And where were we? Where we were there, we also met a man named Vishal. He seemed rather powerful. And I actually wonder, would any of you two know who he is?
I think
And like when I say you two, I just towards like Justoria
assumed
and
you were,
Magna.
yes. Justoria, like Shixaredin says, this name is not known to me. And then Magna cuts in with, and what would lead you to believe that we would know such a person?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that about power. Yeah.
Well, you can talk about Michelle reacted if you want to just put him in it.
You could as
Michelle
well, though.
reacted to Magna. Oh yeah, I don't want to break your.
I mean,
roll
I'd be
there,
Like,
you still could,
well,
though.
basically, I say it, so if anything goes wrong, I get fucked.
You've got, you've got history, man. There's a sword is straight for you. Okay, well, I'm passing a note. Okay, I'll take that note back.
Is everybody passing notes under the table?
Yeah, it's a Crumba. He's got the shiny armor. You can take it.
Yeah, I'll just say that. I'll just mention the power thing and just be like, well, he appears to be a man of extraordinary power. I wouldn't believe that the king would let someone like that go unnoticed.
He like narrows his eyes at that response. And he says, power is such a subjective terminology. The appearance of power can often be quite misleading. And he just stares at you for like maybe 5 seconds. Says, For one creature such as yourself to step on something that went beneath your notice, to you that was nothing but inconvenient, but to that creature that has now been stomped by your power, from its perspective, you were the defining factor in the end of its life. Then he pushes a scone in his mouth and takes a big bite of it.
Do you think I should mention about how he like straight up flatlined me?
Or what? You fried your brain.
Well, he's just calling you an ant, basically, so he's saying it doesn't matter.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's like, but I can say, like, well, it was significant to me as, he literally,
Yeah, you can agree with him and boost his point up to get more.
Good point, Audrey, good point.
Ready. Yeah.
I don't need to say exactly that they killed me. I could just say that they caused significant damage in one touch.
Why don't people come back from the dead? Why are you saying that? Is it just because?
Oh yeah.
Power as well?
Yes. No, when me and Arya killed him before.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Vishal.
Yeah.
Also, just for Riz's benefit and mostly for Alex's benefit, like resurrection isn't common. It just fundamentally isn't common. Even though we're using D&D and there's a bunch of spells that do it, it doesn't mean to say that that is a common thing in the world. Necromancy's not a thing in the world, isn't an established thing either. So, yeah, like the things that have been happening with this group are quite rare. So.
We also
so there's no
we press him about getting because we don't need to kill Vishal. We need the rod of Pa, and if we did get, we would probably never go back to Vishal again. So we could just ask Magna how he would go about getting one himself if he needed it.
I don't know. I'd still want to stab Vishal in the throat.
Would we actually do that though?
I wonder.
Would you do that? Would you lead us all back to Vishal?
He can't do it though. That's the thing. even if he could lead you all back there, he can't kill Vishal.
Motherfucker, I forgot that.
I know. That's why I'm saying
He also
wisdom
has
could
to
be
stop
would be
other
to it.
people doing it, which means he couldn't lead you back there with the hopes you'd kill him.
I know that.
I want to know. I think it is still good that we follow this quest through. So I think Andrew's right. We should mention about how dead people don't come back from the dead.
All right, so we're agreeing now as a party. We intend to kill Vishal one day.
Well, we can, but I don't think our encounters with them are over though.
Well, we could just talk casually about the Rod of Power without treading on anyone, and we could just say, how would you go about getting one if you needed one, and completely bypass Vishal entirely, unless he's unless Magna co-signs. Oh, if I wanted one, then I would kill Vishal and take it. Then it's like we're still even all on good terms.
Mm.
For that goal, though.
Yeah.
It's
because we're
that power, man. The XP.
Yeah. And that is it. Plus, I kind of want to know. I want to learn more about their connection as well.
I think you've got a bit more, man, to push. Until Arya starts
So,
screaming in the
Riz,
chat.
Riz, why wouldn't you push then? If this is how you wanted
waiting,
to
I'm
assist
gonna jump in,
Grumbar.
man.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm gonna come in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say it's been 43 minutes now, so just you let me know. You let me know, Riz, when you're jumping in.
Give me a couple more sessions, man. It's session 75.
Alright, you heard it here now, folks. Session 75, the Riz special. So anyway, Grumbar, what do you say?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'm just gonna rock. Not that I'm not listening to Shan, but I'm gonna go with Adri's suggestion and say to him, it's like, well, people don't normally come back from the dead. I've met Vishal once before. He was responsible for the death of for the corruption of my tribe. And when I met him there, I thought I killed him, but he resurrected.
And Magna's washing down half of his scone with some honeyed wine. And he says, most curious. Someone you thought you had killed did not fall.
No.
Are you sure you did not misjudge your prowess?
My life has been nothing but battles. I know when something's dead. And he was dead.
And have you learned as to the nature of how he seemed to avoid this fate?
Shit, because I can't say no because that would be a lie.
You can't lie. Wait, so what is it then? Tell me.
Well, Magna's the reason. Magna's the reason.
He's alive. Is that what he said? How do you know that?
Yes, Daria, yes. Right.
How did he bring himself back? And then Magna was he brought himself back.
Right.
Magna brought him back because
Magna brought him.
Right, that's the theory.
No, that's the fact. The
Is
Elf Queen confirmed it.
So the Elf Queen said it, and thus apparently confirmed it. I'll just put that out there for you, Alex.
She is truth.
She is in fact absolute truth as a concept on this earth.
Well, Could
You
I?
could just say you don't know.
But he
that's
does. Like
not-
I think like both Scott and Crumber at their core
Oh shit!
believe.
You can't. Okay.
That's
So could I go with something along the lines of like, what do we think about me saying? Well, maybe you could shed some light on how such a thing is possible.
I mean, if you want to just like try and like flip the conversation back to him, you could do that. Or
Mm.
what's the alternative? Lie or
Yeah.
answer, right? Honestly,
Mm.
or like
Well-
yeah. So like that's just evasive, but you could do that if you didn't want to try and lie.
What? Just answer?
No, I'm
Just
saying
say-
that you have three options, right?
Right.
Lying,
Uh-huh.
telling him what you actually believe, or
Mhm.
being evasive. So that it's kind of up to
Yeah.
you.
I think we're spinning the tires. We should honestly just tell him the truth and like not tell him about things we don't want to say. Which we don't have to lie for that. We just have to. Not
Yeah, but
bring
telling
them
him the truth would be Crumbar saying the Elf Queen said you did it.
Say these sort of
Yeah.
things were unknown to us.
Okay, so
Then-
you want to potentially
Yes.
start the human
So
elf
that-
war?
Point. Neither us nor anybody around us was able to like resurrect people. So you
What are you talking
wouldn't
about? I
be
can do it.
lying to say that at that point.
You weren't
Shut
there.
up! You weren't with us then.
Oh.
It would be a lie if we said that like at that point we had no clue this could be done to begin with.
Yeah.
Probably hadn't encountered this. This is very rare, right? So it
Mhm.
would be the truth, but we would also not be pointing fingers.
Yay! And I don't want to get
Trying
as
to be sneaky here.
I don't want to get as
Mm,
pasted
it's tough,
by.
but yeah.
No, I agree with that. So yeah, I'll just say that I'll go. Well, these
Say
start.
truth, but don't point fingers.
These sort of things are unknown to us. Then these powers of resurrection.
And they are known to you now.
Well, Vishal is proof of that such things are possible.
You say they are known to you now. So how did he achieve this?
Can I just point to Bastille and be like,
No.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Show me your magic
Um,
trick.
We could collectively shrug because we don't know much about him to begin with, right?
I mean, I'm gonna go with
Like we don't know if he was resurrected like 2 seconds after he died or 20 days after. Like we don't know exactly what type of resurrection he went through.
Vishal. Vishal just straight got back up.
Yep.
Oh shit! Did he? I don't
Yeah.
remember that detail at all. I'm sorry,
Eh,
this disappeared
Vi-
in my mind.
Vishal basically, we struck him down, and then like he got back up looking all like
Wasted away.
zombified. Yeah,
Mhm.
wasted
Yeah.
away, and then he like, hearthstoned away.
Oh.
Do you remember what he said when he left?
Okay.
I can't remember.
Oh, you said that. That's well
I
elusive.
can't remember.
What
Wow.
does this mean, Michelle? What does that mean?
I
It was-
suppose you
We
could just say exactly that. Like he was dead and then he got up and looked like a
Mm.
zombie and
Yeah, the problem is Crumber has
away.
just said those powers weren't known to us then, they are now.
Mm.
And he said, okay, if they are known to you now, how did he do it? This is a very, very typical chess maneuver where Crumbar is in check right now. Verbally.
Bishop to knight 4.
Okay,
Um,
throws Bastiel and Magna runs.
What did Vishal say before he yeeted away?
I will remind you since you can literally just go back and watch the
Oh,
video.
good.
He cackled and says, none of this matters, and teleported away.
All right, Metallica ripoff.
That means a god won't let him die either way.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It means he doesn't think any of what's happened matters. That's all it means. There's no point assuming facts so fervently.
Well, I didn't assume facts. I said I think that's what this means.
And he said that's what this means.
I'm gonna just say that there has been like certain people I have met that have now who have proven who have the ability of resurrection. Would that be a good out? Research, yes, that could be a thing.
Because you're like a paladin guy, you could just say.
Also, you know, also
Alright,
like
what's
that.
But I still can't hear you because Scott's talking over you.
I was just saying, you could just say gods are probably very like capable of such a thing, probably, and you could just like assume things and things like that without actually saying that I can do it, and then he terminates me.
Well, there's other things like that vampire, not vampire in the Undermarch.
Yeah.
How
You know,
does
there's
this
things-
how does this explain how it has become known to you, right? Which was the question.
Because I've seen it firsthand.
Okay, so he asked obviously, and if it is known to you, how was he able to achieve this? So what is your reply?
Oh yeah, because that's the problem. How was he able to achieve this? Okay, I think I know a way to do it. Thinking. What? Here's hoping to throw me under the bus.
Focus.
Yes, exactly.
Granted, that is different because he would have done it on himself and looked zombified afterwards, whereas our Revivifies don't do that. But,
I will go with. It appears that an outside source was helping him achieve this resurrection.
And what evidence do you have to support this theory?
Dead men don't cast spells.
It seems they do. Takes another bite of his scone.
I'm trying to think. Did Vishal mention he had help?
you know what? Arya's gonna cut in.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Say, I got curious about the topic and I did some research, and I found that there are ways to resurrect somebody, but that is, and I'll just explain, like, the person looks fine afterwards according to my reading, but he didn't look as.
I'm gonna just stop you here because you seem to have missed the part where resurrection is not common. It is not common. Your research you've done zero research to study resurrection, so no. That would not happen.
Oh,
Just because you can cast Revivify doesn't mean to say that it will work the same way. I have had this big conversation with Shan as a resurrector as well. Resurrection magic is super rare.
Yeah, but I thought if I said that I researched it.
Well, if you want to lie, you can.
Kind of knowing how. Well, I would have to have some sort of excuse for the fact that I can kind of do it.
I mean, no, because like the High Druid gives you the abilities you have, so you don't really need an excuse, right? So mechanically, back in the game, you have done no research, so if you want to continue this way, it means you will actively be lying. Yeah. I just want to highlight that before you go too far down the rabbit hole.
Oh, damn it. Okay, no, I didn't realize that. I genuinely didn't.
It's okay.
Right. What do you guys think about me bringing up? In fact, I don't need to mention the Elf Queen, but I can.
I think go for it, and then that could be the hint why Thingy killed you straight away when Magna was brought up. Like.
Yeah, but that ties us to the UN initiative that we weren't gonna tell him about. But then people ask, what reason did you have to go to the Queen? Because not a lot of people meet the Elf Queen.
Maybe it was luck. We could lie
Burstar
about
covered
that.
it. We are somehow important. And I think that the important thing would be to say that he was dead, and then after he was dead, he was changed and start to explain how
So
he's zombified.
The last things that were said though was Crumbar said, you know, we know there were outside influences that basically cast magic to bring him back, and he says, okay, cool. If you know who, where is your evidence for this? Who is it? And Crumbar's reply was, dead men don't cast spells, and says, well, apparently they do. And he took a bit of his scone.
And again, this is where I could jokingly go, maybe it was you.
So,
Yeah, go on.
other ideas?
I just want something to happen. I want someone to do something real spicy. So,
Then do something.
Yeah, I'm tempted.
I was going to say,
love this.
so that, yeah,
Man,
I was going to say, what you're
Seems
saying is,
like-
none of you want to do it, but you want Crumbar to do it. So why don't you
I want
both
a person.
fortify your, character positions and say something?
Cast like spells of armor quick. Why are you guys buffing? Oh, well, 1 second.
You know what? Okay, yeah, you know what? I know what to say. I know what to say to that. I will just simply say to him, truthfully, I don't have an answer for you.
Okay, do you want to roll deception?
Bastard!
What were you
Ooh,
expecting?
Yeah.
I'm expecting
Truthfully.
that due to the fact that I am
You could
trying.
just say you don't understand these things. It's not.
But he's just explained through several conversations there, he does understand them.
Yeah,
It's cool because through the
he
art
understands
of
them.
trying not to piss the entire team off,
Well then, you don't
Crumbar
need to
has
say
got-
that. You don't need to say that.
Crumbar's got inspiration. So
Oh, wow.
I mean, I need to go approve such a thing.
I always have my own inspiration. You don't. This is an empty gesture every time you
Yeah.
offer it.
No, he's buying it for himself.
I'm buying it for myself.
Okay. Amazing.
And do you know why you have your inspiration all the time, Riz? Because you don't do anything to contribute to the drama.
You.
Look at that.
Well, I can't
Calling you out.
man, but
2 sessions time, the Riz show.
I can,
Putting on the
I think
Riz.
We all want the same thing. That's the thing. Like, I think
Yeah.
you can. I'm prepared to do
Also,
it. guys,
don't
if you
step
want
over
me
my
to take the hit.
joke. Putting on
Okay.
the Ritz was a very clever joke. I'll have
Well, I
you
don't
know.
think Arya says that it will link if we bring up the Queen. It will link to the UN. Is there no way we can contact it? Like, I don't even know how I got there. Like, I don't have ties with the Queen personally. So,
I'm rolling a deception here. So
all right.
I've said it. I need to go. I can't now go. Oh, actually, I didn't say that. I
Yeah.
said it.
Let's do this. Gamble time.
I'm just checking to see if I get if there's any I have that can give me a kind of.
You've got a good charisma. That is something you've got
Yeah.
in your corner. So,
Decepticon. Boop.
yeah, 21's okay, right? 21's okay. Do you want to repeat what you said to him?
Yeah, so truthfully, I don't have an answer for you.
His reply is, it seems like your information, or you're not as well informed as you claim to be regarding such matters.
Silly me.
Mhm. Still,
God, I want to
Uh,
say something so bad.
say something then. Go.
It can backfire. Arya said it connects us to the UN.
Hey,
I don't
content
understand
is
how.
content and non-content is non-content. So
Mm.
you take from that what you will.
I mean, right? Like, look at me. Okay, look through my entire lifespan of this game.
Let's just look at that last conversation where I went, well, this guy, resurrection magic's a thing. We didn't know that before, and now we're pretty clued up in it now. I mean, and this guy, like, so obviously somebody outside influence did this. And he goes, how do you know that? I go, I don't know actually any of that. That is what Crumbar's achieved. He's basically just went,
Yeah.
look at how
He
smart
got
we
us a
actually
good
are,
roll
and
to
also
undo
nothing.
himself.
Yep, so, yeah.
Okay. Well, Riz clears his throat and looks at the group.
Mark clutches your arm and just shakes his head and looks at you dead in the eyes and just shakes his head slowly side to side.
Like a negative, like a no shake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Obviously, you're gonna push through, right?
Oh, damn! Mark's like my father figure. No, father. Okay.
Riz, I have
So the
something to
last
tell
thing-
you. I am not your
Yeah.
father.
The last thing that was said was, what did he said, like...
It seems like you're not so well informed on these matters as you think you were. Or something akin to that. That was the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm
tense,
eating
isn't it?
like some sort of fruit or something,
Mhm.
and between my bites, I say, but the funny thing is that the Elven Queen said that you brought him back. We didn't. We might not believe this. Who is she to me? No one. But when we brought him up, Vishal reacted in such a way that posed more questions. Rumbar can vouch for that and what he received from Vishal.
Oh, Michelle, he says.
So, Magna obviously turns his gaze from Rumbar over to the shady mummy.
I'm just eating my
In
food
disguise.
as well, like mummy.
And he says, and you, elf with no connection to the Queen, claim she said this and implicated my hand in this Vishal's resurrection?
Like as a player now, everyone. This is the information we got, right? This is what she said, Magna.
That
So
was
I'll just-
Magna's doing, I believe, was the exact phrase.
Yeah. So I'll just nod and say that's what we were told.
And being told information and believing it are two separate events.
Correct.
And which do you walk?
I'm gonna. Oh, in fact, no, I'm not. In fact, no, I'm not.
Seems like we're lost in the unknowns for now.
That may be so, but you have not answered my question. Do you believe that I am responsible for this? Because being told one thing and believing it to be true are quite different.
Well, I don't understand what benefit being connected to Vishal would have.
And yet it
Right
seems
now-
important enough to be conversation.
It is important. He is a dangerous and powerful man.
What danger does he represent?
We just read this text, everybody's just...
I, like, you're in the moment. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment.
Well, I haven't witnessed any of these events. I'm just...
Yeah,
told these
so, but,
events.
like, what are you gonna answer Magna then?
He's always in the wrong place at the right time.
And what are these ill-timed places?
When the earth splits and demons come from beneath.
And you believe him to be responsible for this?
I feel he has a hand in it, yes.
And you feel I had a hand in maintaining his ability to do this?
I don't know yet. I don't understand the connection. You're a man of order. And this is nothing but chaos to me.
And I think you would have your answer, would you not?
Let's hope so.
Hope does not serve as well as information and skill.
Hope can often be the influence to gain skill and information.
And it can lead to pride. He looks back at Crumbar. Back to you. Hoping that something is does not bring it to be.
I'm just gonna kind of not jump in, but not or in. Just start kind of saying is like, we aren't trying to blame you for what is happening about the demonic invasion. I'm sure that you're very well aware of what is going on down at the abyss just now, and I can't imagine you would want these hellholes to be on your land. I know this. I've seen you close one. But are you aware that it has been Vishal that has been opening them?
And you technically haven't seen him close one. You've seen him add a closed one. Okay.
Which would assume that he.
Yeah, I mean, you can assume if you want, yeah. But again, this is the difference between assumptions and fact, right? Keep in mind, half of the team here weren't there.
Well, I'll just.
So when you say he closed one and we saw it, that lets Riz and Bastiel believe that's true when it isn't. You just happened to be at a closed one and he was there too.
I will say that then instead. So that
let's try and keep our facts factual.
Yeah, that we seen you at the location. You know, we seen you at a location of one that was closed. I'm assuming that was your doing. So maybe you don't know that it was Vishal that has been opening these.
You guys just is that is Stare lingers on Riz for a bit, and then he looks over to Crumbar to reply to you, and as he's doing this, Mark just lets out a big sigh, going, just relaxing his grip on Riz's arm. And then Magna says, the events at the Abyss are the jurisdiction of the Golden Order. I thought you, of all people at this table, would have understood that dynamic.
I'm just saying, it's like, yes, the Golden Order has taken it upon themselves to see to it, but I'm sure that you would have knowledge and care of all that happens in your lands.
I do not understand your question in that. And he leaves a space there that you could assume he would have said your name had he been furnished with it.
I'll just. Is that something I pick up on?
Roll insight. Why not? See.
Extra advantages off. Whatcha? No.
I'm glad you had the insight to know that you wouldn't know. Sadly not. Not with a 5.
I'll just say it's like. I'll just say.
1 second, Scott. What was that, Shan?
If you run out of things to say, I do have something I can just drop in. If you need it.
Yeah, by all means, batter in. Because I was just going to change.
Do you want to run it by the players, or are you happy to just go for it?
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what is it you're going to say? Fuck, I keep clicking. Sorry.
I was going to basically say that, as a man of, he mentioned you being a man of faith, and I was going to lead into you being a man of faith. It's interesting that the Golden Order was besieged by dragons, basically, and then lead into what do you know about dragons, etc., and just move away from gods and esoteric.
But what I was gonna just do quickly is just go, basically, I am digressing from the original thing. It's like, I was merely wanting to know is, do you know who this Vishal is?
He sits the last, fingerful of scone down, sips his honeyed wine, and then says, "So you do not deny that the Golden Order are failing in their sacred oath to protect this world from the demonic invasion?" Surely that should take your focus as a paladin, should it not? Not some unknown factor, such as Vishal. He sips again, and then says, "Perhaps you should be focusing on things that are within your capabilities, and not chasing after the hope of defeating some unquantifiable, powerful opponent." And he sips again.
I am going to say politely and be like, I am trying to do right by my order. Currently, I am trying to find the location of our leader. It came to me that he is being withheld against his will. That is why I am not at the abyss, and I ask about this Vishal in case he is somebody powerful enough to stay a dragon.
Well, goodbye, Riz. That's like, does everybody want to roll insight?
Okay. I've got so many tabs. I've got three tabs. It's not that hard, Scott. Can I be cheeky and buy inspiration again?
No, you're more than welcome to. Like, there's no
Because
cheekiness involved. You can just do it.
really, really want to know this.
That's why the system exists, buddy.
And I feel like I should abuse it more.
Yeah, I definitely think Arya should somehow, I don't know how, right, but get message so that she can start putting her thoughts into people's heads without.
Really don't
Me
cast spells around Magma,
doing
dude.
Also, you still need to whisper it, so isn't telepathy. Telepathy is what you want.
By the way, Scott, you know if you like rope someone else into things and they assist you with something, you'll have advantage.
Not with it. Not with everything. Like you.
Okay.
Helping insight someone would need to be like an interrogation pre-set up with the questions arranged, right? It's the same as trying to help somebody with a perception. It's like, unless you both agree, let's go out and look for trees, then spotting something unusual isn't something you can assist somebody with necessarily. There's a lot of like context-based, specifically, exceptions in that, but this is definitely everyday rules, and we'll see who gets what.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not know why that came into my head.
Forgetting these rules, buddies, because like I only see one.
Sorry, I was away just a sec there.
You did. You literally left as I asked every day for an insight roll.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Insight. Okay, cool.
Yep.
No advantage.
Nope.
No, I. You know what? Use your advantage this time. Use your inspiration, Alex. Go.
Don't need to. I'm joking. That was bold. That was cocky. I regret that. have mercy. Have mercy.
Still waiting in two of the party. I mean, there's
Looking at nothing's happening.
Cool. It came through finally. Adri?
She's gone.
Nope, she's had enough of us.
She's obviously trying to sort her audio out, and all I need to do is click a button.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll wait. It's okay.
This is annoying to ask, but it was insightful. The last sentence, which was.
Yeah, you're right. It is annoying to ask.
Damn. Boy, Arya is like sorting herself out.
If only you had taken notes of everything I said as a transcript.
When I go to the toilet, just put it on speaker.
I mean, why am I not on surround?
You
I'm
hear
not
me?
I'm not gonna lie. Like when I go to the bathroom, yeah, like I mute my headset, but then I just like turn the volume right up so I can still hear.
God.
Okay, so you spend some luck.
jeez. Ew.
Yeah, so when you obviously ask essentially who has the ability to like withhold a dragon, essentially, to summarize what you were basically saying. Yeah, so only Arya catches this, but there's like, so hopefully you can hear me, Arya. There is I'm just actually going to wait until she has confirmed that she can hear me. Perfect, good, cool. Because only you work this out. But there is a tiny look of surprise on his face when he hears that.
Oh my.
And it's the slightest thing.
Surprised that we know, or surprised that it happened? Question.
So he replies to Crumbar. Are you informing me that the patron of the Golden Order, this so-called god dragon, is in fact the prisoner of some other?
That is what I have been led to believe, yes.
What has led you to believe this?
That the Order has not heard from him in some time, and as mentioned, it came to me in a dream that he was being held against his will.
But yet he did not allude as to who is his captor.
He was too weak to speak.
I mean, technically not true, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Oh.
I guess too weak to speak at length, I guess.
Yeah, at length.
He says, well, isn't this rather disturbing information given the invasion we face without the self-appointed defender of this realm?
And you can understand the importance that I find him.
No, I think that would be... And he looks back to Riz briefly. Some of this hope that we spoke of being misplaced.
Well, if it's misplaced, what do you have to offer?
And am I here to offer?
You're part of this world.
And
what happens
so
when
are
those
you.
rips open? What do you think we're doing?
You're having lunch with my daughter.
And you are too.
Yes, but I was not aware that the defender of the entire safety against fiends and the like was someone else's prisoner. Yet you are, and you are here having lunch.
Is there anything that I can do to see if that was a lie?
You can insight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wabam! God damn it.
Yeah, as far as you can tell. He seems on the level.
Because obviously, going back to previous sessions when I did say it, my first thought was, oh, this is clearly probably Magna's doing. So I'm wondering, it's like, does Magna know? Like, has Magna actually kidnapped him? Or is he just or does he genuinely not know, and then there's a bigger threat? Or there's a threat that isn't him?
What was that, Adri?
That's the thing. Remember, I'm the only one that noticed the surprise in his eyes in his face when
Mhm.
We told him about that, and then I said, I don't know if you guys could hear me. I thought I wasn't muted, but maybe I was. Who knows? I said, now the real question is if it's surprise at the news or surprise at
Yes.
the fact
No, we
that
did.
we
Yeah, no, we got
know.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
came through.
So that's
exactly.
the thing. Like,
Mhm.
we don't
Um,
know anything
I think
about.
I think I know what to say to this though. So he's basically, and here you are having lunch with my daughter,
This is it,
and
dude. I think sorry, like I think we shouldn't be arguing. I'm trying to get to the point where it's like we need to get help. We need to like
oh no,
get him on our side. Like,
that's
you know what I
literally
mean?
what I
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
literally what I was just about to do.
That's right, Riz. Stab him.
I'm-
But I don't know if
got
he
my knife
knows his
out.
daughter's been helping us. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, no,
I
but
can't
but
remember.
but we're just coming to ask him about help for this particular situation. All other situations are kind of obsolete right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'll be like, yes, and at this lunch, I am hoping to gain your aid in finding the Great Gold Worm and releasing him from his captors.
He just kind of stares at you for a second. Then he looks around the group at everyone. And he says, "It would appear that a lot of things have gone beneath my notice recently. This help you seek in aiding your god. Tell me everything you can of this dream."
Here's what I'm actually thinking. Do we offer our services and be like, well, allow us to, investigate anything that allow us to investigate the land kind of thing and be like, hey, here's stuff you might not know. But yeah, right now I'll tell them about the dream while you have a wee think about that. So yeah, I'll just say like at this point, I'll just like take a big sip of juice because
Yeah.
buckle in for a long story.
Yeah, like you uncork the bottle of Mountain Dew that's on the table. Yeah.
It's like
Monster.
Yeah.
like just gonna do it in the style of Thug Notes. I hope you don't mind.
It's fine. Just as long as I know the bullet points of what you are actually
yeah.
trying.
So basically, I'll just mention the fact that I became awoke, and
I became woke. Okay, Grandpa.
I became woke, yo. 2020. Yeah, basically mention about the decor being that kind of, like kind of like sickly sweet smell of the kind of
the incense in the air and such.
tent. Yeah, the incense, the kind of tent like the kind of fancy tent decor.
Yeah, I mean, what reminds you of that right now?
Really, I'm just thinking about. I watched Troy like the other night, and I'm just like, yeah.
I meant in the game, buddy.
What? Sorry?
I meant in the game.
In the gazebo.
What reminds me of that?
Yeah, in this incensed tent that you're in.
What reminds me of that? The fact that it's been
It's okay.
a memory?
It's okay. Everybody else is caught up. It's fine. Please continue describing the dream.
Keep going.
Just keep talking about the dream.
Yeah, so I mentioned about like the smell of the incense, the decor,
the fancy veiled curtains and such. The silks and such.
Then mention that I see, the Great Gold Worm, and not material chains, but I guess ethereal would be the correct word.
I mean, do you remember what they looked like?
Yeah, they were like red beam things from the Eye of Janus.
So you telling him that?
Yeah, and I mentioned the fact that it was the Eye of Janus from
Eric.
Yeah, from Eric's hammer. I will also, bring up the fact of be like, wait, was Eric with us when we Yeah. In fact, yeah, because Eric had met Magna before, so yeah, I'll mention that fact as well. It's like it was a weapon wielded by one of our old companions, Eric.
And you've described everything you've just said to me, right? So you've not left anything out of the room.
I mentioned as well about how I cast a guiding bolt on it to try and break him free. I didn't. No, the bits of the hammer didn't come with me out of the dream. No, they didn't. No, because I certainly would have put that in my inventory. I'll even mention that I tried to take parts of the hammer with me, but they didn't come materialize when I woke up.
And yeah, so you basically tell him everything, right?
Literally, there's nothing I don't tell him.
Okay, yeah.
And I was literally going to just say that. And I will also mention that when I awoke, I seemed to be gifted with this, and I will just let my skin go all shiny.
So you start dripping with molten gold. Yeah, as is the way of Crumbar now. And Magna then says, "A most curious dream indeed, for you to be bestowed a divine gift from it.
You can understand why I take it so serious."
As you should, if your direct superior is reaching out in a moment of need. What good is a leader if they cannot rely on those who follow them?
Yes. What's a god to a non-believer?
And he smiles at that line, right? Like there's just a self-amused smile that he cannot hide, to the point where he stops speaking and takes a sip of whatever remains of his honeyed wine.
I thought he would like that.
And then he says that it would seem like the blame lies with your old colleague, this Eric, if he was the former wielder of this hammer that contained an eye of Janus. These artifacts are not given freely.
Arya nods, says, "Yes, I suspect he did not give it freely. I also have no doubt in my mind that he was not capable of doing this himself. He is, something akin to an ant. I point to Crumbar, compared to that who he serves."
And you are fully versed in the capabilities of your colleague, Eric?
I would have definitely seen him fuck up some magic, right?
He got lost a lot as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll start saying, well, he was not the most efficient at his magics at times. There was quite touch and go.
Lost his
he
clothes
literally
a lot.
dropped a house on us.
Yes,
arguably
he said yes. He wanted to take us to his house, and he accidentally brought his house to us. That was not a nice thing. So I don't think he would.
But far beyond
had
the capabilities of a mere ant, would not you say?
But it was the hammer, not him. He didn't have those capabilities before that hammer.
And would you have been able to achieve this with this hammer?
I'm just gonna butt in.
I never knew how that hammer worked.
He then says, "It in fact was me who stepped in." He wouldn't say me, he'd say I. It was I who stepped in to retrieve Eric's family from that incident.
I just kind of look like a look of surprise, and I'll just be like,
"Good."
yeah, same idea. I'd be like, then they're all okay.
They survived that catastrophe. Yes, the removal of the Rainwood estate caused quite a stir in Glitterhagen and the woods to the north. And
So yes, he wasn't particularly good.
And if he is capable of such reckless acts, perhaps he sought revenge on former colleagues. He looks at Kronborg and he goes, did Eric himself, did he have any issues with your order?
I'm trying to think back. No, I don't think he did.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, okay, I know what I'm going to say. First of all, though, I wanted to say, see how he did say that to Arya, if she could, like, would you be able to wield such a thing? Well, technically you can, because you've got an Eye of Janus that you wielded successfully. But yeah, I'll just say,
Yeah, but I wasn't 100% sure that that's the exact same sort of magic.
right, yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll just say
I
back.
probably can't even lift that bloody thing.
I think you're worthy.
No, I
Um,
mean strong. I kind of use the fact that I'm not like super strong sort of character
no, don't worry.
to wield that hammer.
I've got a spell for that.
I'm being sneaky again.
I know. I'm just.
Stay focused. Keep the drama.
Love you, Arya. Yeah, so I'll just say to him, it's like, as far as I'm aware, there was no issue, but I guess any tool in the improper hand, in untrained hands, will make shoddy work. Get it? Because it's a hammer, which is also a type of tool.
Yeah. No, I got it.
I'm smart.
Don't know if Magna's going to deem that with a response, but I got it. He says, yeah, speaking of fine craftsmanship, the sword you wield is very detailed. Will you grace the table with its story also? And he sips his, honeyed wine, and we go to break.
Jesus Christ, it's 9:20 already.
Yeah. So, we will come back at the wonderful 9:30, and I'll pop us on a break.
Okay.
So, welcome back to the Keepers of the Golden Gate, session 73, part 2. I am Ryan, GM. It's the 27th of November 2020, and here are some players.
Hello, I'm Adrian, and I play Arya Bluebird, the Half-Elf Druid.
Hello, Sean and I play Bastiel, a Warforged Cleric.
Hi, I am Scott. I'm playing Crumba, the storyteller today, apparently.
Hello, I'm Alex. I play Riz, the Elven Monk.
Yeah. Son of Mark, as we have established. Oh, things in chat. So, where were we? Graces with the tail of this sword.
Yes, indeed. Starting to think, like, a lot of my shit happens when I dream. Yeah, so I am going to, first of all, like, stand up and, like, pick up the bottle with me, obviously, walk round to Magna, draw out the sword and just kind of, like, hold it in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, you know, like, by all means, you know, take a hold if you wish.
And he stands and takes hold of the sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I will just regale him of the time I, you know, quite rightly poisoned myself in the I won't mention it's in the Undermarch, but I came to a severe unwelling, and in this time I was on the edge of life and death. So much so, I think I had you make me up a new character sheet.
I got looks confused at this. I made you what?
What is this meta you speak? Yeah, and I'll mention about how I, went through this dreamscape reality of falling through the darkness, but I was able to stand up, and in this I met a lot of people who I have met over my, current years, recent years of adventurings and whatnot. And while in there, I realized that there was a lot I had to let go of, and by letting go of it, I believe it has changed my focal point on. I'm like, how do I say this without? I could actually mention that my oath has changed, couldn't I?
Yeah, like
Because
the oaths that drive you can change.
Yeah. Because that is technically like an in-game mechanic, isn't it? Yeah. So then it's like yes, and it made me realize that the oaths I took were no longer correct for what I had to be, and upon changing what I want, upon changing myself, I gained this weapon.
And then I'll tail.
Yeah. I'll gesture to take it back.
Yeah, he does. He,
Mm-hmm.
holds it. He looks it over in his hands, obviously. Things that people do when they hold a sword, and then hands it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You are quite a rare find in this world. Someone who can bring their dreams into reality."
It's not a talent I knew I had.
And yet it is one that you make use of. There is a respect in such a skill. Your devotion and misplaced hope, any as of yet bound elsewhere, Saviour, is perhaps truly misplaced if you look beyond your own achievements. And he sits back down and pours himself some more honeyed wine.
Right. Okay. My initial thoughts here are I should either ask him who he thinks I should serve, B,
Well, he's kind of answered that, right? Like, if Crumber didn't pick it up, like he's basically said, you're following this guy who got himself captured, but clearly you can just make your literal dreams reality. Why aren't you following you? Why don't you have goals?
I do have goals.
But that's what he is.
I have a whole sheet about goals. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Scrap that question then. First of all, I will just reply back to him and be like, I follow the Golden Order for now, as they are good to me. They give me the power I need to do what I have to in this world. I think that justifies why I'm with them. But
he says,
he
replies to you and he says, so your loyalty has a price then?
Everything has a price. Flashback to when I, literally, killed everyone in my tribe.
And what's everybody else feel? Right, because we've had a lot of Scott, but like, where's the other three? Not that I'm not enjoying the content. Scott's been really good, but at the same time, it'd be remiss if people then go again. Yeah, I just didn't have an opportunity to jump in. This is the opportunity, guys.
Alright,
I think Arya would just be looking around.
Okay, so we're going to do this one at a time. So yes, Shan, hit me up first.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for because obviously it would be jarring as hell to just start working on the personal goal. So I'm just waiting for the conversation to turn into something where, because Magna's got interests in this sword, so let's at least resolve that. See where that goes, and then.
Magna segued away from this the hammer creation craftsmanship conversation that Crumbar tried to segue away from the Eye of Janus stream. So he segued into, speaking of craftsmanship, that sword's very unique. Yeah.
Shit, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
What a willy.
Also, I'm like half expecting him to reveal something about the sword we didn't even know. So I'm just waiting with bated breath.
Why would he tell you though? Like.
What was I saying?
There's like a popcorn maker on the side of it you just never noticed before. Like, yeah. Sorry. All right, Arya, you were saying.
I was saying that I would like to be looking between people, and especially look at Justoria during this entire exchange, like every so often, to see her reactions, or if she is, with her eyes trying to get us to,
Yeah, you look and see if she's trying to indicate anything.
And warn you with your eyes to don't talk about that sort of thing. Like I would want to look at her and try to figure out if she's.
I mean, if anything, she looks like she's trying to follow the conversation, quite frankly, while eating. Because she doesn't actually now have to carry and play host. So she gets to literally just eat the food in front of her.
Wow.
While paying attention.
Basically just stuffing her gob.
Yeah.
So she's no help whatsoever. Okay. That's fine. No, that's what Arya was going to do. She wanted to observe.
Okay. Riz?
Just eating a good old fruit salad. You know what? I want a nice acai bowl or something. Sort of smoothie bowl going.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just waiting to see what happens with the conversation. Like to stay on point a bit more, and then.
Well, when you say on point, what do you mean? Like,
like I don't know. Like I feel like, the Vishal thing was quite hard to we weren't getting anywhere with that. But there's so much to talk about, like even Bastiel's goal and getting the dragons involved, and yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like this is the first time. I don't know if you guys spoke to him before, but it feels like this is the first connection with Magna. You know, like other than that, it's only been brief meetings. This is like he's talking back to us, and there's no time restraints like to leave. So,
Yeah.
good opportunity to get some.
Hear all of it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like, should we be afraid of him? Really, like to hide like everything? Like, we could probably unload quite a bit and see what he has to say, or even offer. And
Okay,
get
so
passage through
on that
places.
specific topic, then, what else do you think would be worth bringing up in addition to what has been discussed?
So, like the dragons.
Okay.
Like there's.
I mean,
don't
Riz
really know
could
much
follow
about
suit
those.
with his amazing conversational tact as before, when he was, very much saying, "Ah, so you're responsible for everything." You could then lead in with something equally as blunt, right?
Bring up the prince.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I was gonna say I don't know if Riz would do that. Like,
spare the spotlight. And then other than that, it'd just be like nice to see if I can have a conversation with Mark, like subtly away from the group,
writing
see
with
if
your
I can get him
fruit.
out. Yeah, I want to know where he is, man. I want to have a conversation with him, see what he knows about Magnev. Anything.
I mean,
If anyone knows about this Mark, maybe he does.
So keep in
Yeah.
mind, when you asked Mark about Magna as the Wizard King of the World, he was like, "Who?"
I meant the hand mark.
I know you did, but I'm talking about what Riz was talking about, not what you were talking about.
Wait, I'm confused. Oh my, okay, the mark. Okay, got it. The hand mark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Mark,
that's
Mark,
what
he
Shran's
didn't know
talking about.
anything.
But like
Yeah.
actual Mark, yes.
Well, it'd just be an excuse to get him out and then question him where the fuck are you? Like, where are you coming from? But yeah, cool. I'm just happy, like, listen at the moment. It's all good. Good.
Okay, in that case, then I guess the floor is still Crumbars at the moment.
Yes, I'm going to try and bring the topic back round to the hammer.
Okay. How do you do that?
I'm trying to think of it. Well, I'm going to just take a quick wee sip of tea.
Okay. I mean, can anyone else think of how to assist
But
Scott here?
yeah,
Why do you want to talk about the hammer again?
because it's what's holding the Great Gold Worm. Got it.
Okay.
Got it. So I'm just going to ask him and be like, you mentioned that you think it could be Eric's doing that is holding back the Great Gold Worm. I must ask, is there any way that you could get me to that location of the Aya Janus that was in that hammer?
How would you propose I achieve such a feat?
I am unsure of the way that these artifacts work, but I know that they can travel distances. I don't know if they're connected in any way, and a gesture towards his staff, being like,
His staff isn't there. Remember?
"Oh, neither is."
You could mention the staff though.
Yeah. So I mention it, and so I was just like, and I know that your staff contains such an artifact that you are adept at using.
And how were you furnished with this information regarding my capabilities?
When he came, did he use the eye? Did he teleport in, or did you just walk around?
Just walked up the path.
I'll just mention it. It's just like, well, our former companion Eric mentioned about how he met you in the travel space. You know, like you just see,
vague, like vague compartment motions.
yeah.
I get it.
Mm.
He says, and then it seems this brings us full circle back to your former companion, Lord. He would call him Lord Rainwood. He's polite that way. Lord Rainwood.
Guess it would. But so, is there any way that you can get me to that artifact?
He looks around the group again, just at everybody, you know.
Not right this second.
And then he says, again, you look to others to provide skills you yourself are capable of.
I'll just look at Arya then and just be like, I think he like that kind of. I think he knows.
And I think like as you like give her like that glance, he'll then say, "Did you think it would go unnoticed? An artifact of such power being used to traverse this world."
Alright, just drugs.
I was, yeah, I guess. I'm unsure on what to think of this artifact. Its powers are still very new to us. It did, however, get us out of the ashland that we met Vishal in, which I've actually been meaning to ask. Do you know where that possibly was? It was entire land covered in ash. And like, I'll just describe it to him
like before you even get a chance to, he just says, "Are you saying that the location in which you departed using the Eye of Janus, that is in your possession and emotions vaguely, Arya, is where you last encountered this Vishal?"
And I'll just, nod in agreement, be like, yes, it was. It's where we ended up after the incident with the fortress.
I see. Excuse me. And he nods to his daughter, and then nods to the group. This has been most nourishing a meal. Thank you for sharing it with me. And he says that to just the table in general. Stands up, and as he stands up, the staff forms, and he just gets enveloped in red energy and vanishes.
Damn it,
Damn, I knew that might be a lead out.
I'm
maybe
sorry.
don't nod to, and then he was like,
I kind of didn't want to interrupt, but I also wanted to ask something, but it's fine, don't worry.
What were you wanting to ask? Because we might be able to put it to Justoria.
I'll try to ask Justoria also.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We got nothing out of that. We just told him a bunch of stuff about us.
Well,
I think we got stuff out of it. I mean, for instance, he's let us know that we have the ability to get. When I asked him, like, can he teleport us to this other artifact, he's told us, we already have that ability. So I'm guessing because I've been to this place already, I can just think about it and then we can teleport there.
That or everybody teleports in your head.
oh.
So, I mean,
Why did you put the fear of God? Ryan, don't do these things to me. That's mean.
No, this is exactly Magna's point. Playing with things above your pay grade is dangerous, and it's quite rightly dangerous.
Okay, can I ask a question here to Justoria?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So, kind of want to say,
your dad's a dick. Flips
your
table.
father. say, your father, much more open to the ways of the gods than I had initially thought. One thing that puzzles me in all of this: neither gods nor demons, the dragons. Crumbar's, obviously, his faith is linked to the Golden Order, and to us,
I just like interrupt Bastille and go, my power is linked to the Golden Order.
You just hear like awkward crunch of the wafer with the cheese on it that Justoria is eating.
Okay. Go on.
No, like I think the point is that we're
no.
waiting on Shan or Bastille continue.
Yeah, you continue.
Okay. Shit. What was I saying?
Sorry, I just wanted.
Sorry,
Yeah,
no.
maybe you shouldn't interrupt.
You were saying.
I just wanted to throw his back there.
You were saying. Magnus seems more open to the ways of the gods than you would think.
Yeah. The dragons. Where do they sit in all of this? Who would do such a thing? Who would send dragons to maraud his citadel? Who could?
And then, she finishes with her, full mouth of wafer and cheese. Swallows and says, "Are you saying the Golden Citadel was assaulted?"
Almost raised. If we hadn't arrived, well, then he bites his tongue, and he's thinking, well, the white would have saved them, but let me not say that.
So she just looks like she's expecting the rest of the story.
You see, we made our way there after a number of adventures quite recently, and we had gone looking for information to explore its library. Wait, did we do that? No, we were just checking in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say that anyway. We'd gone looking for information, and we had found ourselves in rubble, in a destroyed sanctuary, a destroyed structure. And as we made our way through the rubble, we stumble upon dragons. Dragons left, dragons right.
She kind of like half gasps as she's leaning over the table to get an apple from the pile of apples. Then you just have Arse give her like a kind of dirty look as she leans back and starts taking a bite of the apple. Just, like mouth full, she asks, "What information were you seeking that brought you to there?"
Well, in addition to information on the things that Crumbar has mentioned already, Vishal, the nature of what we're dealing with here, goals. We were looking for information on. Oh shit! Here we go. It's like 5 different things, wasn't it? What did we need from her again? Like we needed right. Information on a number of artifacts that we seek. Namely, one Rod of Pa.
And what do you need the rod for?
Oh shit!
There's like a squeaky gear in your shoulder or something there, Bastille, yeah?
What do we need the rod for? Oh, no, she's on our side with us. We need the rod. Because we have it on good authority that it is a key player in closing the abyssal portals.
She looks very intrigued by this. She goes, "Why, which authority is this you speak of?"
To players, can I just say the Elven Queen?
I
say the Elven Queen. Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it, right?
Yeah, I'll say the Elven Queen, and I already took out the artifacts last session, and I'll hold up the diamond. I say the Elven Queen.
She looks at the diamond and looks at you, and she says, "The same queen who lay blame at my father's feet."
I don't doubt her prowess or her abilities. I have no idea what's going on in this.
I would never
clearly-
doubt such a magnificent being such as herself. But motivations can and should be questioned. She kind of like nods
Mhm.
sagely.
And so, where do you think the dragons slot into this? They seem to be an outer entity involved with neither your father nor the queen.
She kind of shrugs. She says, "I would not deign to fathom the depths of a dragon's mind." It would seem like she kind of turns her eyes to Crombar and she nods towards him because it seems like you have an insight into such a soul already.
Take it she's on about the show.
No,
I think she's talking about the
Huh?
blue.
no, she's talking
Because you
about you,
made it-
Crombar, because you literally follow a dragon and you have dreams from the dragon. Like you're
Oh,
trying
right.
to, you're asking about how did the dragons fit in, and she's like, well, literally ask the guy that gets dreams from him.
Right. Sorry. Right. I think I got my wires crossed because I thought you were still on about the Rodapa for a minute there. Right.
We actually do that though. I could divination to ask the worm about the dragons. Maybe.
I'm a wee bit lost.
So, Still,
Um,
how do you respond to her her latest, which was, you know, nodding to Crombar and then saying that?
Well, I trust in Crombar's vision that the worm, the mighty worm, is currently in prison, is currently out of reach. And so we are left to our own devices to, as you say, fathom a dragon's mind. I'm thinking about the white, and I'm talking about the white, but she doesn't know.
Yeah, she definitely. It's like, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. As much as she'd love to metagame that, I don't think she can.
Yeah.
It's maybe a bit much. You could ask her though, right? You could just straight up ask her.
What's left here? What? So we did the.
I don't know, like, I mean,
Okay.
it does seem like
Ooh.
Arya's got a bunch to say, so
I was gonna try to change the entire like
it's okay. Just lead with it. Just go for it.
atmosphere
Yeah, do it.
by saying, while like quite casually munching on something. So she'll like, dainty bites and then
Mhm.
swallow and then say, I was wondering, Princess. Obviously, we've seem to have traveled a lot since we've last seen you.
She sets down a mug of beer and she goes, "Please, please, Justoria. We've been through so much, Arya."
Yes, of course, but I'm sure you understand why it's why I fall onto old habits and propriety. Apologies.
She just smiles
I
and
was
takes a swig of
wondering,
her mug.
how have things been for you? I know when we last saw you, you were still looking into developing ways and magics to aid in closing the holes without it taxing you so much.
She kind of nods and clears her throat and sets the mug down, and she goes, "And it seems like you have found a way to do this." And she motions back towards Bastiel.
Arya's a bit confused.
I mean, Bastiel literally just said we were going to try and build an artifact that'll seal the abyss. So, like, it shouldn't be too confusing since that is what literally you are doing.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not what I was asking.
That
Oh
is-
yes, but I was just wondering, since you do so many interesting things, and that to me was quite the feat. I was just curious what had happened to you since we last saw you. What have you been doing? Surely our tales cannot be the only interesting thing that's been going on.
And she kind of like, there's a look on her face and she said, merely a tale of recovery, unfortunately. My research has come up with very little in the way of rectifying the side effects of the methods I employ to close the hellholes.
I was just gonna look worried and kind of like, oh, sorry to hear. And she is, she definitely is. But yeah.
And you know, your story definitely looks like, you know, thankful for your sympathies, right? Like, because you know, you actually witnessed what it did to her. So yeah.
Start for life, yo. But yes, I'll say, well, yes, that is something that we're hoping to achieve and such, and hopefully there won't be any other threats. If that's all that's going bad in the world, then hopefully that's going to be fixed soon. I was just
It seems like that's not the
it's
case,
been so
though.
long.
You've said this Vishal is the one who has caused the abyssal breach, the arcane mishaps that have been happening as a result of this. The hellholes surely must follow this format as well. If this creature, this Vishal, is someone you have encountered at each of these locations, the dangers only seem to have increased, unfortunately, with the great cold worm not able to take action.
These all seem to be related somehow, and what I'm saying is hoping that once this issue is fixed, then everything will be fine. And since the last words brain, basically what I'm trying to get to. Last time we saw you was closer to an interesting time in our lives when we had somebody in our party. I was wondering, have you by chance seen Eremos at all?
And she looks at you and she goes, "The child you brought."
Yes, we've not seen him in a long time, and I was been worrying about him.
Not since
I've grown attached to him.
Not since my father took him.
And he's not mentioned him since.
To be perfectly honest, okay. I've been somewhat occupied with my own recovery.
Oh, of course. Obviously, I just meant in the sense of been mentioned.
My father is not in the habit of idle chit-chat. You may have noticed this.
Arya doesn't quite know how to say that, just by the interrogation. Yes, he likes to know a lot of things and gives away very little, right?
It is a mark of a good and protective king to learn a lot without revealing one's hand.
Indeed. Yeah, so I wanted to tell you, well, in our travels, we've encountered a character that mentioned having met you. A gentleman called Mark, that he'd been eating a pleasant dinner here.
No, Mark.
I don't think he actually did say that. I think he said that there was a dinner to attend, right?
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. Because that's what all the invites were for, right?
Yeah.
Including the invite that had...
confused me, I'm sorry.
So, when you interrogated Mark, and you spoke to him, and he said that, you know, just Aray, she's lovely, she's having a dinner. And then he pulls out all the invitations from his satchel, and that's where he points to the one that says Mark, and he goes, "Oh, is that your name?" And he goes, "Yeah, okay."
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then he just hands a whole
Oh.
bunch of other letters out, and then they all like fell to the floor, and that was kind of the last we had at that moment.
Oh. So I never really got confirmation that his name actually is Mark.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
never mind.
100% not.
Fuck. I'll start actually describing him. And
Okay,
said
yeah.
that we've encountered a gentleman that looked like this, and he had a lot of various invites in there somehow related to you. I'm just curious, obviously, in case they just went missing, and then have you had any sort of such event where you sent maybe a lot of invites and nobody attended because the invitations never reached them?
She
You know?
smiles at him and says, "As you are first-handly aware, I tend to make sure my invites reach the recipients, because you've all received invites from her in the past.
Yeah.
You did.
You were literally handed them by like a jester who handed you the invite and then vanished. And then
Indeed. While
she
we
says,
were
That's awesome.
Karen the camel.
"Yep, Karen the camel." And
Oh my god, Jazz.
and then she says, "Unfortunately, though, if I had an arranged dinner during my recovery period, I would not have been well enough to attend. I would have hoped that my personal aides would have cancelled and sent on my apologies on my behalf. But as I said, I am recently recovered. I am still picking up the pieces that have fallen in my absence."
Could maybe ask her why that
Go
happened
ahead.
to her in the first place. The whole transformation.
Oh yeah, what kind of that type of shit?
It just seemed
Um.
to be as she was getting the magic in her, to be honest.
Um.
It is why that sort of thing will mess you up.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it all, and
Alright, so I'll take like a wee moment as a team then, as players, right? Like just pause the narrative here, have a wee chat as players, right? Let's not make it 4 hours, but like let's, what's the thoughts just now in this moment, right? You've got
Well-
Justoria herself now, without Magna.
Maybe now would be as 2 seconds. Let me bring up the right tab. What's she's been doing then? So one thing I was thinking about is obviously Magna never told us where, but maybe Justoria would know the location of this of the Ashy place that our dad's now clearly just yeeted away to.
Yeah.
See if she'll fill us in on it. Asked about Eremos. Could even ask if she'll put us in touch with the Brotherhood of Pa.
Yeah, all valid things to ask, I guess. Yeah.
So I'll say, yeah, she does actually seem closer to her dad as well now, which is interesting. Because before, did she not? She didn't trust what he was doing. Was that it? I can't remember her exact words.
She, last time you spoke to her, remember she crystallized the room you were in and said now we can speak privately without fear of people overhearing. And then said, I don't disagree that the events you have described could be opportunity for those with the right motivations. Which means she can't discount that her father might have been involved in the stuff you were blaming him for. And she basically sent you guys off to learn what you could.
So ask about Ashen Place. Ask to get in touch with role of.
Any other discussion? Got a quiet Shan and a quiet Alex.
What was the other thing I just said there as well? Sorry.
Yeah.
So far I've got that.
Yeah. Alex.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Do you actually care if I draw you out about the Prince of Shadows? Bastiel does. Yeah, draws Riz out. That is one of my goals. I do want to put you in contact with the Prince of Shadows. So if I just name drop it here, or do you want to keep that private?
I just don't know, like, how much does Bastille actually know about the Prince of Shadows, though, right? Like, does that mean? Versus
Nothing,
what
so
Riz knows. I just mean it's a kind of meta thing for Bastille to be able to just come out with, though. Right?
Oh, right. Like, why would I say it right now? I'm just kind of thinking Justoria knows everything, I guess.
I mean,
So,
there's a statement.
Oh, find out if
I'm not saying it's a bad
Is-
idea. I'm just saying it's curiously left turn by comparison to everything else she's have done.
yeah, well, okay. I guess that's a high thing that basically we're kind of bogged down here, and I'm just kind of moving on to like shotgunning everything that we could possibly mention to her while we're here. Like,
well,
yeah,
I'm
Thanks.
sorry.
but yeah, that's it. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, like, I'm literally just looking through the goals, and what I'm looking at is we still need to find out about the Ash Place.
Yeah.
You know, we need the actual name for the location. So if we can get that, find out if Justoria is staying back in Horizon now. That way we can have a trustworthy connection in Horizon. And then obviously ask her if she can put us back in touch with the Brotherhood of Pa.
Let's do it.
I
We should
think
just
the
pick
most
one.
important thing, first of all, is to ask if there's a way to get in touch with her when,
Needed.
like, after today.
Yes.
Certainly.
Yes.
It'd be nice to have a location that we could turn up to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there's
I
four
mean,
of us, and
you
that's like
literally
four
can
things.
just petition her office. There is a public office of the Princess of Horizon. The party have been there before, and they have impersonated nobles in that place before.
Yeah, but that's not a direct connection, really.
It
It's
is. It 100% is. You set up a direct connection with Justoria there.
I
I
mean
think-
it more in
Yeah,
the sense
legit
of like
one,
that
though.
bracelet that she gave me, you know. But
yeah, I think she was meaning more like a straight to the Justoria, not going through third party.
Okay, what makes you think things like that can't be intercepted though?
that's the problem.
Mm.
Well,
I mean, I'll just reflect back on the
Well,
conversation where
Magna is
Magna said,
here,
"Oh
and it
look,
wasn't
you
safe
used
to
an
go
Eye of
here."
Janus to
Oh.
move from A to
Mhm.
B," and I
Oh,
noticed that.
no.
So if that's like a god tier artifact, then what do you think the equivalent of a sending spell is going to do?
I think it was more so that we don't
Also,
need
Bastille,
to wait
do you
about
have
for a
that like
reply.
on your list? Sending? I don't mean
No,
now, but like as an option.
possibly something. I'll look it up.
Might even be
I've not
something.
thought to use it.
I mean, it's literally what you're asking to achieve, though. Sending, what level are you?
Yeah.
Sending is a 3rd level, so yep, well within your capabilities, and Cleric can do it.
Sweet.
So right now, let's just take it one step at a time. So
Let me just
Find
paste this
out
in
about-
chat. So there is what sending can achieve. And I'll just highlight the thing that you might be interested in. Just the range of it.
where's this in?
I'll do that right now, though. It's on my spell list.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, but you also don't do it
Yeah,
right now.
Right.
Basically, instant. Like it's a guarantee.
Right? So
It's like a good phone.
yeah. So you have this at your
Yeah.
like in your toolkit.
So what I'm thinking is let's just take it one step at a time, and we'll discuss after each question. So
I have an idea.
yep.
So, what bit do we know her father doesn't quite, well, not hold domain in, but like is unlikely to be very much involved in, and for his powers to extend so far as
Yep.
to be aware of everything.
Elfwood, I'd be guessing. Isn't
I'm
it?
thinking perhaps the domain of one of the other places, the other idols sort of thing.
Hmm.
Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking if we tell her where we're gonna be and in about how much time, or just give her like our itinerary, she might come to us where it's safer so that we could actually properly talk. I don't think we're gonna get anything of from her right now.
It doesn't seem like that can go wrong if you ask her. So if you want to go ahead, totally cool with that. There's not. I don't see a reason not to.
The only thing I'm a bit unsure about is I'm not sure exactly where we're supposed to go after this. I know we have a few goals now, and I don't know where we go after this. So what I'm not sure as a player is what our itinerary is, because obviously then my character could give her our itinerary.
I'd hold on to that then, right, until you have a better idea of where you're going to go, because that isn't exactly a terrible idea. You know?
We just go
Do you mind if I follow up now just by asking about the Ash place? Because I want to get at least that done today.
Sounds like
No?
you've got a clean floor, so.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just say Justoria, your father seemed to disappear before I got an answer. The Ashen place of which I described. Do you know the name of it?
And she says, a place full of ash. It could be anywhere, really. You are known, as you have said at this table today, to dream of things so real they become and take form. Are we sure this was not another dream you walked through, and yet brought your companions this time?
No, this place is very much not a dream. It appeared that your father knew where this location was. Does it match a description of anywhere that you know?
I would not try and assume the motivations or understandings of my father. He is a very busy and involved man, and he has knowledge that would scare even the most achieved academics of Horizon.
I meant no disrespect. I'm just.
And she puts her hand up and she waves you off and kind of like, you did not disrespect anyone here. The place that you describe, it could be the Old Kingdom, but it also could be any number of places. I did return to the location we had agreed to meet when I was unable to, and I am sorry for that. And she looks both at you and Ario, and she says like a deep kind of sorrowful kind of, I am deeply sorry I was unable to keep our last appointment. But when I returned there, I did notice that seemed to have been sealed in a manner that denoted ash everywhere as well. And just a flashback for Arya and Crumbar, when you passed the dead giant by the river and went up the hill to the hellhole, you had Magna standing in an ash hole, essentially.
Yeah, because we made a bunch of jokes about that as well.
And then, obviously, there was no Justoria, and he just says, how curious that you find yourselves here. And he left not long after that. He might have silenced Eric when Eric was giving him lip as well.
Yeah, so he did.
And then he vanished. And then, obviously, that's when you waited for a bit. Justoria never showed up. He went back to this place. And then, then you all boosted to Horizon. And that's when you lost track of Eric, because Eric never fell through the portal.
Do we know anything about this Old Kingdom?
No. It's like, if you don't know it by now, you don't know it.
Um,
But what does Mark say to you guys, right? There obviously were people in charge before Magna.
So,
What's that, sorry, Shan?
We had a list of things to do, right? To get to, there's 4 points. So I guess we start with the Old Kingdom and resolve the Ashen Wastes one, right? So I guess Bastiel being someone who's 100+ years old. No, he wouldn't have known a world without Magna, would he?
I mean, you barely know a world with Magna. Like you were in a cupboard for 100 years, and you know there's only so much time and subjects you could have covered from one man's library.
Yeah. Then I'll say to Justoria, forgive me. I was, shall we say, on holiday for a while.
She'll ask us, how lovely for you. I hope it was pleasant.
Something like that. I find myself in a world I'm not fully acquainted with. An old kingdom implies that we are perhaps in a new kingdom. What came before this? All of this. What came before Magna, your father?
The Dragon Empire.
Yeah.
This isn't news to you guys. Mark told you this.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Mark told you this.
What? Yeah, but I thought it was bullshit. I thought he was just talking out of his ass.
Good point.
When did he tell us that?
When you were like,
when
who's the king? And he's like, I don't know. And you're like,
Yeah.
do you know Magna? Who? And you're like, wait a minute, what? Then Arya was like, okay, going back, who's the last person you can remember who was in charge?
Mm-hmm.
And he listed a bunch of dragon emperors.
Yes.
Yeah. And he
Mhm.
also mentioned a world above the world.
Yes, he also did mention that. And how did he end up in that flying castle thing? He fell.
Exactly.
And where did the goblins come from? Above.
Right. I'll actually say Basil will say that because he's got low charisma. He's just going to make the list. He'll say, "Dragon emperors, dragon kings."
Oh,
Dragon Empire.
Dragon Empire was what she said. The Dragon Empire. Mhm.
Dragon empires. Those didn't happen to fall out the sky too, did they?
Where else do dragons come from? And she kind of laughs, playfully.
He's going to look stunned.
I still want to see this in the TV or movie adaptation of this, obviously, is how Bastiel looks stunned or shocked or anything. Can't wait to see how they animate that.
To draw it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just holds up a sign like Wile E. Coyote.
An exclamation like card pops out the side of his head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Metal
What,
Gear
like
style.
it? Yeah, Metal Gear style.
I meant like old turn signal style as well, where it pops out of the side of the car to indicate. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, continue.
Wow. Sky. Oh, you mean to tell us that there really is a world above our world?
There is a world above and a world below. You know this, aren't you from the world below? I mean, you are.
Yeah. But it's
Oh
not
right,
really
I thought you were meaning like Heli Deathscape.
Yeah, they kind of thought that too. Jacob's Ladder, shit. Okay. Right. And do we have dealings with this world above us?
She laughs. She goes, "You're a man of faith, are you not?"
Yeah, colours blown.
I mean, just point to ours.
Yeah.
I mean, do you, Crumbar?
Yeah.
And then I think Arse is just munching on another apple, and there's like about 17 apple cores sitting on the plate. Just looks up and smiles and waves. And then Justoria, joins in Crumbar pointing at Arse, but she gestures with an open hand slightly more politely, and looks at Bastiel like, see?
Right. Huh. So okay. I'm just trying to piece this together. The Heavenly Arsenal, then, is that somehow linked to the old world?
I don't know who you're
I'll
asking.
ask
Yeah.
I'll ask that. Our friend here claims to be from some form of heavenly divine arsenal, in charge of admin and such. Do you recall any such thing in a past empire in the old world? Where? Yeah. And on that.
So what is it you're trying to get at there? Because I'm a bit confused with the question.
Trying to ask her
So
if
basically, is
she
like the
noticed-
Heavenly Host arsenal mentioned in any old texts? Is that what you're
yeah,
talking
does
about?
that sound like it's from there too? With the link to the old empire.
And I think Story will do what she can to piece that together, right? Because obviously she doesn't have meta knowledge either of everything you've been through. And she'll say, it would seem if this charming creature at the end of my table would be correct in her duties, would it not be best to ask her? She smiles up at Mars.
No, there is a goal. Information out of us. Jesus. How are we gonna achieve that one?
Oh, just ask her that question. You're asking her.
We've done this. She won't part with it. She steps around the question. Okay, fine.
Might be worth a second try.
Yeah, in front of Justoria.
Mm.
It's also
Peer
just not a
pressure.
question that's been asked, right? You might have asked similar things, but you've not asked this.
Okay. So
You literally asked, where are we and can you get us out of here, please? Is what you've tried to get out of ours. You've
Also
never
tell us
actually
about-
asked.
yeah, but yeah, okay. And she called us a creature. So are we just gonna? I mean, that means it's not human, right?
I mean, Magna referred to a lot of people as creatures during his conversation as well, though, because, you know,
Okay.
sometimes referring to people as men, women, or humans and all that is a bit weird when people can be of all sorts of makeup, right? Like in a world where humanocentric is a word that wouldn't make sense, then, you know, perhaps you need to, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Mankind also
Yeah,
wouldn't
like-
make sense, right? Since elfkind
Yeah,
would
'cause I don't really
exist.
think of creature as a neutral tone. It's like
I do.
an
Put it that way.
abomination.
No, because abomination is the term for abominations.
Yeah.
So
kind of neutral.
I
But,
use the term creature is neutral for these people. Because, yeah.
Okay, good.
Keep in mind that
Right.
us as normal, actual, everyday human beings playing a game have a humanocentric view of things. People in a fantasy world where high fantasy is a thing don't, right? So, don't worry too much about that.
Yeah. Okay then. All right. New acquaintance. Host of the Heavenly Arsenal. A guardian of the host. Do you recall an old world? Where you found us? Is that place familiar to you? Think back to your culture's past.
Just looks at you and she goes, I see that you're trying to get somewhere. But do you know where you're trying to get to? And she just takes a big munch out of the apple in her hand.
Well,
just
if
kinda
this
points at you.
old world came out of the sky with the dragons, and so did you, I assume, heavenly being, I would assume that's upwards. Then I
She
believe there
she
might be a
laughs and she
link.
goes, onwards and upwards.
I assume there to be a link between the Dragon Empire and the Heavenly Arsenal, and perhaps an explanation as to why you are here with us.
Why would you think there's a link?
They both come from the world above us.
Okay, but things that come from the world below and below that aren't all linked.
Right?
So she just stares at you blankly. Because you've just agreed that your question doesn't make sense with her.
Makes sense, because I am linked to the elves. They are, everything from where I come from is linked. I don't know. I'm confused. Okay,
You're a machine that was given like life and sentience by something from the underworld and something from arguably the overworld so that you can affect the world, right?
okay. So when
So are
she
you the
says
link? Is
the
that what
world
you're trying to
below,
say?
She's not talking about. Yeah, I am basically, aren't I?
right? So you're not saying everything's linked. You're saying you are the link to everything, is what you're saying.
And I'm basically saying us is the same link to that old world civilization, the Arsenal and stuff. And sorry, someone's knocking on my door.
Oh my.
Woot woot, it's the sound of the police.
Riz, what's going through your head?
I don't really know. Like I don't know how we can get anything other than simple goals of like connecting with the brother to par, and yeah, it's just we're just having a chat with Victoria, all knowing just, or maybe just a person that's connected to a knowing person might not know so much. Seeing the golden worm. Yeah, I kind of want to get Mark involved. See if like Mark recognizes Victoria.
Well, why aren't
But then
you
he's not
interacting with them
trustworthy.
then?
You what? Sorry.
Says choose to interact with them then. Be the change you
Yeah,
want to see in the game.
I was letting Bastiel. I'll do it now. If he's gone to the door.
I'm back.
All right. Well,
I
next
like this
session I'll do it. I'll wait till you're done, man. Like if you're close to.
I'm pretty much done. I mean, us doesn't know about this old world. Yes.
No, you didn't ask that. You asked, are you linked? That is what you asked.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you say they don't know about it.
Crack on, man. You're close. You got it.
Okay.
No, I want to see Riz in this Mark scene now.
Okay.
Because obviously
okay.
you want to do this
Yeah.
in a way that people aren't paying attention. And if they're talking, you know, Bastiel and Ars and Justoria,
Yeah.
what better
cool.
chance than for you to have a side conversation with yourself?
What's
Yeah.
What do you mean with myself? How dare you?
Ah.
He's living. He's here. So he's not present at the moment. Is he? Is he still present?
Yeah, he's been sitting next to you the whole time.
Oh, okay. Too close, I imagine.
Of course.
A little bit. A little.
He's a very insecure person, okay? He needs comfort.
I'll like I'm well aware that only I see him. Then I don't really want to draw attention to myself. So I imagine I'm sitting. I forgot where I said I was sitting.
Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I want to be the furthest away from the group, so I'm using my food and eating my food still.
I actually have a layout in my brain of where I think everyone's sitting. So, if the table was a rectangle standing on its end, right, on the map, if you will, right, the very far top of the table is probably Ars, right, and then Magna sat at the opposite side, at the bottom of the table, right. Right next to Magna would have been Justoria on the left-hand side, and then next to Justoria, I imagine, was Riz. Then next to Riz is the empty seat where Mark sits, and then the other side of the table, Arya I think sits at that side, close to Ars at the top end of the table. At the other side, Don Drabella, then Crombar, then Bastiel. And then we're back at Magna again. That's what I have viewed.
Well, that's so different from what I imagined.
This is why I love RP though.
That's literally what like I imagined Ryan's way as well.
I'm like
Amazing.
up there with Magna and Justoria, right next to Justoria. I thought it was the furthest from her.
I thought Aria would be right up in.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But all right.
So
Well,
it doesn't matter though. Like ultimately, the seat is
yeah.
so irrelevant.
okay, yeah. I'll use my food as sort of to whisper into my food with choose sort of thing. And I'll say, "What do you make of this all, Mark?"
And he kind of just looks and goes, "Huh?"
We're with Magna and Justoria. You recognize them?
Should I? Are they our friends?
What do you think?
Why would I ask the question if I knew what to think? And kind of like hits your arm.
I'm asking for your advice.
On what?
Can we trust them?
I don't know these people. He just looks really flustered.
Would you want to know these people?
Should I? You're asking me if I should trust them? I don't think we should trust them if you don't trust them.
I'm saying, do they have the makeup of being trustworthy people, Mark.
I don't think we should judge her on their makeup.
Not their literal makeup, but their character.
Yeah,
This time I'm just shouting next to me.
I think it goes. I mean, do we need to trust them? I mean, the food's nice, but like we should probably, maybe not overstay our welcome like these two are. He nods across to Crumpar and Bastille.
Mark, you have some great
Don't take that tone with me.
Where are you exactly?
Where did you bring me? He looks around.
How come only I can see you?
Wait, only you can see me? How come she's giving me the
so
eyes? And he points over at Dundrabill.
I'm starting to think that, see, when you touched the crystal stone thing and it shattered, I think you absorbed them into your hand.
Yeah.
No, that happened
Like-
before. I think that
like-
happened before. When I showed him the mark outside, he disappeared. And then he kept appearing just what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, up and down the towers.
Moments of emotional rest. Like he is when I'm...
Wait a minute, that's
I
the
don't
whole
know.
campaign.
Yeah. So Dundrabella, can I check just to see if Dundrabella is her eyes are aligning to Mark's?
Dundrabella is like keeping, an eye with a mug of ale in her hand between the group who are actually chatting back and forth about, the old kingdom and the world below and the world above, and she's not paying attention to you at all.
Okay, so he's off it. He's away with the fairies.
It's not to say that she wasn't looking at him before, though, right?
Okay, well, I'm going to use what I said to say, is there any way I can reach you when I need you?
He just puts his hand back on your forearm.
What forearm?
Your left forearm, right?
Oh.
Because he's to your left. If Justora is to your right.
Damn. It's just
Well-
logic. There's no hidden message there. Okay.
To learn what's beneath the surface, Alex, one must dig.
What direction though?
Up, obviously. Yep.
Very confused with Mark. So he baffles me.
And he's kind of just looking at you confused, and he goes, if you're so unsure of these people, why are we still here?
Well, my party obviously differs. I don't know if I should trust them.
If you can't trust them, who can you trust besides, me?
How can I trust you?
How can you not? When have I ever been untrustworthy?
Come and go as you please. Don't tell me the true answer of anything.
I got us through the tower, didn't I?
Did you?
Did I? He just looks confused now.
Yeah. I'll give you that. You did. You did.
He holds up
We
the
did go
doorknob.
up and down. Oh yeah. It's still got it.
It's like, well, this was really useful.
This has it on his personal attack. This is handy.
Like, literally,
Okay.
it's a handle, so... That word Crumbar couldn't say for a while.
Did you ever
Of
finish
course.
your? Did you ever finish your inspection of my hand, Mark? My mark, Mark.
What mark?
I'll just point to my hand, but it's wrapped. You know, my mark.
He points to, like, his hand the same way you did to yours, and he goes, what mark? Is this the mark? And he just, like, does the same motion with his hand, like he's pointing at his own.
I'll just.
Wait,
I'll
is
just-
there no mark in his hand anymore?
Mark never
it's
had
on
a mark
my
on his
hand.
hand.
No, but
His is wrapped up.
But-
He keeps his
I'm
hidden,
always-
obviously.
Yeah, it's always
You don't just
wrapped.
walk around with
Right,
symbols
right,
of the Prince
okay.
of Shadows on you.
I'll just like pry a few of the strands covering it side so you can see like a bit of it.
Okay, yeah. So you like this mark unwraps what
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the bandages, loosens it
Yeah,
a bit, shows it to
exactly.
him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I meant to say something about that," and then he vanishes.
Brilliant.
And you look up and everyone's frozen.
What? Everyone?
Like everyone is not moving.
Oh.
Shit, you stopped time, bro.
Damn, that time thing.
The like garden and stuff seems to be fading to black. Very slowly, as if like, you're losing blood pressure or some shit. As like the world slowly creeps in around you. To the point where like the only thing that seems to be left is this like, marquee tent type thing. And you just hear like whispers of like wind rushing past your ears.
I'll stand up quickly and ready as best I can.
Yeah.
Shocked to this moment, yeah.
And then you just hear the words on the wind say, "You're quite lost, aren't you, Riz?" That's where we end the session.
Yeah. Nice.
Ooh, snap!
Snappy, snappy.
I wonder if that's the Prince of Shadows.
If it isn't, I'll be shocked. It's
Uh,
Santa Claus.
Mm.
Awesome.
Mr. Tumnus.
It's just Mark with a change of clothes and a different hat.
Yeah.
And like he's like drawing a mustache on his finger.
The name of the session, though, guys. What are we calling it?
Crumbar learns a new word.
Because my vote or suggestion is just going to be the word insight.
Yeah, because that was
Pretty
main
good.
role.
It was literally what we did for the entire thing. But
Yeah.
you
Let's learn up.
please suggest things. What else have we got for names for this one?
I am going to.
Nearly on the same page.
Hmm,
It's more like that one, isn't it? We're reading the same book, are we?
I mean, arguably that would also be just equally as valid if you're going down your route, wouldn't it?
hmm.
Adri, any suggestions of what the session's called? Shan, any suggestions? Nope, just they're all gone. The interrogation.
Oh,
I don't know. It kind of feels like we've not really given away a lot. Not really. Not, will not got any closer to any of our goals. Like we wanted a trustworthy connection in Horizon. We probably could have discussed things.
hmm.
Found out what she knows about things, but we just keep, I feel, asking all the wrong questions. So it just feels like we've been giving a lot of info. We've been a bit interrogated, and then we've also asked a lot of questions that have not brought us closer to our goals much.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Okay, so any other suggestions for names or votes for the ones that have been put in place?
I like not a great title. I like insight.
I see that because you voted for it. Perfect.
With a watermelon.
We got 2 suggestions with votes. Okay, now one's in the lead. Okay. yourself, Adri. Where's your vote going?
I'm not sure. I don't think it all. I'm not sure what fits. But okay, let's.
Okay.
Don't know.
I mean, if it's got 3, it's unlikely anything else is going to win anyway, so that is Insight as the session title. Okay, now goals. Talk me through them.
So, talk to Brotherhood of Power. We've not quite done yet.
You say not quite done. You have not done in any way.
Totally not done.
So, question Magna regarding Vishal. I think that's done.
Yeah, you did it. You did it.
We asked Magna questions about Vishal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'd say that's done.
What do we learn from that, though?
That wasn't what the quest was. But no, like
save that question for the wrap up.
Yeah,
chat.
save that for the wrap up. Now, learn where Indra Lament sent us. I mean,
you haven't.
We haven't, but we're close to finding out with the idea of the Old Kingdom. But it's more so, do we think that is something we can still achieve?
Don't know. So when you just don't want to achieve with it.
Study on it.
So they're talking about the where Indra Lament sent us go, and they were saying you've got ideas, but you don't know, and they're just saying, do we still want to pursue it or not?
Mm-hmm.
So is that a yes, you wish to still pursue it? Or just yes, you understood that I said those words?
Thinking because we know about this old Dragon Empire now, so
I mean,
that might be a whole can of worms tied to that city. So if we haven't got a replacement, I have ways that we can pursue it.
Yeah, and plus there is a blank goal slot at the moment, so.
Yeah, in fact, let's fill up the blank ones before we replace any.
Let us finish talking about
yeah.
Yes, so. Yep, talk to me about that goal.
So, form a trustworthy connection in Horizon. Well, that all depends if Justoria is staying in Horizon or not.
Nope, because Justoria was already a trustworthy connection in Horizon as far as yous were concerned. So she, and as I mentioned this last time, was not qualifiable for that.
Well, screw you. So no, it's not done.
No, we needed to ask her. That's the thing. Like that's what I was saying. We needed to tell her that we're heading to Horizon, and what we plan to achieve there. And I was hoping that would both tell her, where we're gonna be in case she wants to show up and have an actual conversation that people can't hear her, and also perhaps provide the name of people that we could trust in Horizon. But yeah.
Just depends if you're going to stop following up.
I wasn't sure if we were going to go to Horizon next.
Oh, the thing is, the thing is though, the former trustworthy connection Horizon could also have, it was directly tied to the next goal as well.
Yeah.
From the discussions at the end of the last session.
Now that we basically had this whole big meeting, it's kind of like, how much longer are we really spending in Horizon? I mean, yeah, we need their archives, we need their information, but after that, we're just going to fuck off. So, like, are we going to?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that we won't come back and, things.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, actually, operating out of somewhere isn't the worst. Instead of traveling the world and getting castles dropped on you.
I don't know, it's like we're building a whole life in this place and we're just going to leave and carry on with our million side quests anyway.
It's also like the city closest to the Abyss, which is literally where like the quest is. So
yeah. So I think it would be good to have a foothold here.
True.
Because arguably, they just all go chill out at the Golden Order.
That's what I'm thinking.
But the Golden Order's all shut up now.
Well, isn't there loads of sanctuaries?
Yeah, but they're all shut.
I mean, literally,
Yeah,
the Golden
the key.
Citadel. Which is closer again to the Abyss than Horizon.
Yeah. But
I'm just saying, if you're looking for where your bases of operation could be, if you need places to chill and keep your shit, that would be a valid place, right?
Yeah. We have so much to crack on. We have to get the other artifacts as well. We actually don't have any of them.
You do?
The eye.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. And we also need to get a god, which we won't find in Horizon, probably.
But I think we now know a way to get to a god, which is the Great Gold Worm, which is where, you know...
Okay.
It's almost like you
Definitely.
found the artifact that makes getting the other artifacts the easiest.
Yeah,
You're saying that, like, if we focus down Horizon, we can get away to the Golden Worm and find a way to free the worm.
Yeah, more so as well is if my theory is correct and I can use the Eye of Janus and be like, here is the place in my here's the place I want to go, and it was that place I went to when I was dreaming.
Yeah.
Sorry, yawning ironically there. Yeah, so then that can get us a Great Gold Worm. The Great Gold Worm could be the god that we need to forge the blah. But also, I think it's good that we think about getting him freed. What Adri's saying as well is about how we are in Horizon, so we could research Indra Lament, find out more about her. I think there's still quite a lot of things that we should be looking to do here, because we've also got, the Rod of Pa. We still know nothing about
Indra Lament
that.
could
really.
obviously be the god needed to swing the hammer if he's asked politely, you know?
That's true.
Like, he's actually happened to know, like, what, 3 gods straight up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Right,
God knows how much regret she'd want for that, though.
How do you think I mean, Scott?
I just realised you're meaning Janus.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hermy-ass motherfucker. Yeah, so right, anyway, I feel like I'm digressing. So
Right, so form a trustworthy connection hasn't
Yeah,
happened. Establish base of
I'd-
operations hasn't happened. Let's move on to personal goals.
yeah,
Find out if Justoria was brainwashed like Aramos. How do you feel about your personal goal, Adri?
I don't know. I don't know, because it's quite obvious that if she's not brainwashed by Daddy Dearest, then she can't talk here. It's just as bad. I would like to think that we have not enough
So,
information to
if that's
figure
still
out
in flux,
which
then are we
way.
going to keep pursuing it, or are you going to replace it with something more pressing?
No, I think I'm going to replace it with something, but I'm still thinking
Yep,
what.
no worries. Just make sure it pops away to
Yeah.
the other side. Bastiel.
Yeah.
Find out how Magna is linked to the dragon attack.
Not really. Like, if I believe him, no, I don't know. No, probably not.
Do you want to pursue it, or are you going to replace it?
Let's see. No, I'll replace it. I want to know about the old Dragon City.
Yeah, cool. Grumbar, make amends with Dundrabella.
I want to still follow that because I think I could literally just finish that. Hopefully next session.
Yeah.
Gonna pop this over here and then get rid of these lines. So, Riz, discovering what way Mark is still with us.
Kinda. Like, I want to say yeah. Like,
I mean, I'm sure you do want to say yeah, but like,
it's in my hand or something to do with my arm.
Yeah.
I showed it to him. He whipped up again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like you do know for that no one else. That's a fact. He's with us inside of you, through you.
Yeah, like that's what I know, and then I think I can summon I don't know if I can summon him. Will, but I don't know if that's the same question.
So again, we're back to the just because Mark is speaking to you doesn't mean to say you've actually learned anything, right? Like it involves probing and exploration and trial and error.
Yeah,
I said this last time you asked about this when he spoke to you last time.
Yeah, testing with my hand or something.
Yeah, it's almost like as soon as you did something with your hand, as soon as you in fact engaged with Mark in some way, something happened, right? Oddly. So yeah, I would say that goal is not complete. Because again, it's not just going to complete itself because you speak to him and say, hey Mark, how's it going?
I see, right. It doesn't just complete itself unless someone actively pursues it.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Otherwise I'm just like, just level up a couple of times. Don't worry about it. You know.
I see. Okay.
I'm pretty confused how to
then reword it to make it less. Or just again, if you are like, this is when you need to message me, like, you know, out with game time, and us work on an angle if you want to pursue it, or if you want to change how it's worded, just, you know, send me a message. We can chat it out. So are we keeping it or are we altering it?
Yeah, I'll keep it.
Okay. In that case, then we need to. So in Bastille, when you can, yours is going to be follow up on the old Dragon Empire. Is that what
well, I think the party goal, we all have to go and use the archives anyway and learn things.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just do that in that.
Mm-hmm. So what's your new personal goal going to be then?
I'll think for a second here.
Okay. Well, regardless, we have an empty general goal. So, what's the thoughts, guys? What is the new most immediate thing, or the most immediate thing in general to resolve?
I'm through all the archives. In a row. Well, not all, but
I was gonna say there's several lifetimes of work. Yeah.
Yeah, track down the there's a whole list of things we need to know. The other artifacts, the old Dragon Empire.
Mm-hmm. So what's the overall goal you're trying to achieve? Not the goals we've listed here that are the stepping stones to them. What is the overall goal?
Overall goal is close the abyss. Really.
Right. How are you going to do that? Right. Just like, what tools have you been told in game, or like through your journeys, or been given? What tools do you have to do that?
Well, we need Eye of Janus, which we've got, Blackfang Spear, Rod of Pa, and Astral Hammer.
Right, cool. How are you going to get them?
So, might want to look up, but if we're going to the thingy, might want to, because we've got somewhere that we can go to talk about the Rod of Pa. The Astral Hammer, we should look into something about that as well.
Okay.
So,
but you know who has the Astral Hammer?
What's that?
You know who has the Astral Hammer?
Do we?
Yes.
Who has that?
Sandy, remember. Riz probably won't, but the rest should. I'm going to take the silence as a no.
Eric?
Nope.
Someone collected it, right?
What is the Astral Hammer?
Oh, right. The white, right?
Yes.
Correct.
The white has that.
So what are you going to learn about the Astral Hammer, right? Like, what's that going to serve you?
Right. No, that's changed my thought process. Okay.
So now we don't know how to go about getting certain things, and we need information.
Well, the things you're missing, right? So if you need these 4 things plus a god,
I've got them. Yeah.
Right. So if you need 4 things plus a god, you've got one of them, right? You need God of Pa. So you probably should learn about that, but you've got a goal related to that. You need the Astral Hammer. You know who has it, and thus you know the difficulty it's probably going to, employ getting that. But then you also need the Black Fang Spear.
But we know Eremos has got that.
So what's your plans to
remember,
achieve this?
it wasn't Eremos that has the Black Fang Spear. It was Eremos, the Black Fang Spear. So we still don't know exactly what that means and how, and that's kind of why I was hoping we would try to get to talk to Justoria privately so that we could find out more about what became of Eremos.
Well, how do we we feel confident?
Here's the thing I want to just reinforce then, right? If these are the things you know you need, why isn't every goal serving that? Right? Because, for example, forming a trustworthy connection Horizon, I understand why Shan would be like, why are we doing that if we're not planning on staying here long? But then there is the chance of setting up a base, getting contacts, getting a support network, blah blah blah. But ultimately, does any of that propel you towards the Astral Hammer or the Black Fang Sphere? Or the Rod of Power? Like, these are the ultimate end deadlines, right? These are the things you should be pushing towards. If it was the family tree, it's the stuff at the top, right? Doesn't matter who's second cousin's who's second cousin. Who was their parent, and who was their parent, and who was their parent. That's how to think about these goals. So what of these actually, like, learning where Indra Lament sent us, what does that do to getting those items?
I think that is literally just XP grabs, if I'm perfectly honest, because the thing with the Aya Janus Black Fang Spear Rod of Power, we ain't going to complete that next session, So it's just ways of
I'm not saying,
do we get XP.
I'm not saying literally put in get Black Fang Spear, but what is going to get you close to that? Because otherwise, you're not going to do it, right?
Like locate Eremos.
Right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, okay, so we can do things like you said. So for, let's say, I'll type it up in Twitch. So for Aya Janus, that's done. For the Black Fang Spear, locate Eremos. For the Rod of Power, talk to Brotherhood. For the Astral Hammer, something about the White Dragon.
Oh, that's why I was kind of digging into this old Empire of Dragons. Slowly get there.
Yeah. She could tell us. Yeah, totally agree there, Adri. So look at Eremos, maybe by, that could be a case of speak to Justoria and find out if she knows his location. So we could do something like find
But based on what she said, she was like, it seems like she won't know because she was in recovery. Like she was basically not part of the world or around her for a long chunk of time. So I don't think...
Yes, but that's probably what she would say if her dad was listening to
yes, exactly. Yeah,
to talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think we probably would get more information if she could talk to us privately, like she did once.
Yeah, with the crystal room.
I think
thing.
There might be she might be able to give us that sort of information, or at least various clues. I think whatever we ask of her now, and whatever information we ask of her now, or whatever we try to find in this place, it does sound like Magna has a very strong, not necessarily a hold, but he definitely knows everything that's going on. And I don't know if we're gonna find a lot of information from people that might be the ones he listens
that's something kind of tangible then. At least we can, like, it could be a goal to meet Justoria privately, alone somewhere. Ariana.
It could easily just be the phrase, arrange a secure meeting with Justoria. Could be a goal if he's wanted one.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Or attend secure meeting, or just secure meeting with Justoria, because that's double-edged. Because you're securing it, and it would be a secure meeting. What are you taking out to put that in?
Well, I just typed in the find Ermos's location, so we could change that if you wanted, or
It's only worth changing that if the other ones are all still relevant. I'm not saying they're not, I'm just saying that's the way to think about this list. If something's not going to get your attention, why is it in there?
Learn what Angel Lament sent us. Replace that. Right?
Yep.
But then, isn't that also tying into the Bastiel personal goal of the Old Kingdom? The Dragon Empire? Like, why follow that then? Because surely the interest was from that question.
Yeah.
Do you see my thinking?
Well, yeah, but I thought the way, like, there was a culture before, there was a king and culture before Magna, that Horizon itself was the old empire. Like, it got taken over, basically. That's what I thought.
I mean, again, given your lack of knowledge of the old place, it's hard to say, right? Without you actually doing research and work on that. Who's that, like, is MD over, for example, Bastiel you don't count because you were in a cupboard, but, like, is MD actually over, like, 100 in the party?
No, I'm not. I don't know.
Okay, is MD over 50 in the party?
What age am I?
Really?
I am 37.
Oh, shit.
Right, Riz, you're like, what, 30 as well? Right?
I'm young, I'm 34, man.
Yeah, okay. So,
Andrew, how old?
easy,
Aria?
yeah.
25.
So, Magna has been the king, as far as all of you are concerned, for your entire lives. Whereas Bastiel wouldn't have known anything about the surface when he was built, because he shouldn't have been working when he was built, and he, as I said, activated it, and his creator was like, oh no, this is a mistake. Because he hadn't plugged in the battery. And then he was left in a cupboard for 100 years. So, you can see why Bastiel's history is slightly skewed more to the dwarves, and whatever his creator would have programmed in for important information. Yeah. So,
I guess
yeah.
I was kind of thinking that the only way Learn Angel Lament, what Lome actually sent us, ties in with the Dragon Empire is if I assume that the Dragon Empire is that place, which isn't a stretch.
No, it's not a stretch, but it's also something that you could, like I said, if it's something you think is worth exploring, put it in, but does it ultimately serve any of the goals you have to achieve? Right?
I'm just assuming it's a link to the white.
I mean, it could be, but also might not be, right? Obviously, I have to be vague here as a GM, but like, well, for me, the goals are more about what are you pursuing and why, not what is the absolute truth behind the goal. Right, because I can't. The goal system doesn't work if I need to adhere to that. Some goals will be fruitless, right? You could pursue something for 70 sessions, and it goes nowhere, because remember back for Arya and Crumbar, like Reach's goal.
I know, yeah.
Reach's goal of get word to the Great Gold Worm, but he did nothing. Nothing about it. He's like, well, he'll just find that out eventually, won't he? And I'm like, well, I mean, but then your goal will never complete because you won't know he's found out because you didn't do it. Thus closing off your goal. So yeah, and he had that for about 20 sessions or 30 sessions or something, I think. Can't remember how long he had that as a goal, but it was never going to get completed because he would have no way of knowing. Much like this discovering what way Markstall is, right? Unless it's explored and actually defined, it's not going to be completed until things are done. Yeah. So, if the pursuant knowledge of the Dragon Empire isn't gonna get you anywhere, it's maybe worth doing as something in the meantime if you've got nothing else to pursue to fill up goal spaces. But other than that, if it's not serving a purpose or if you don't see it serving a purpose, why pursue it? But if you think it can get you more information on the white, sure.
Because the white is definitely old enough to have been around before Magna, I assume.
The 5 dragons are definitely older than Magna.
So
like that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they
up
existed
for 'em.
before books existed, you know. The other
Yeah.
thing I would highlight is there is a city full of dragons in this world that Crumbar and Arya nearly visited.
Mhm.
What the fuck is this? What?
You know
What
of
are you
this,
talking
I have
about?
mentioned it. It is Axis, the city in a giant volcano.
Is it not like on the map? Is it not there-ish?
Nope, it's a wee bit south. Nope, not as far as that. It's basically where the big G is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I know.
it's actually very close to Horizon given the scale of the map.
Yeah, I remember it somewhere across that river.
Oh boy. Okay.
So yeah, there's a city full of it's Dragon Run. It's where the Dragon Empire retreated to. They are not considered part of the kingdom of Magna.
So look into that then. Why were they pushed back? Who pushed them back?
I mean, Magna.
All right, free XP, boys.
It's not free XP, sadly. It's just this is normal information the world has. It's not like a mystery to uncover. It's just you don't have that information because you were in a cupboard for 100 years. But this is something that Crumbar or Arya could have told you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
it's obviously like
I think
this
we
isn't me
should
saying,
find
"Oh my god, why didn't you know
libraries,
this?" This
archives
is just
to
me
find
saying,
one.
"This is information you wouldn't have," so it makes sense that you're confused at this point.
Yeah, I know. So, Learn Ninja Lament sent us. That's something we can do in the process of actually tracking down a really good source of information, a good archive.
Well, Adria needs to expand on her personal goal because she's put out find out info about Indra but what info are you looking to find out? Because I could just be like, the correct spelling of her name. What's her favourite colour?
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was gonna see if she has like essentially like a known location or essentially what she tends to do, like how she.
So I'm gonna give you this one for free, right? You just have an Eye of Janus. Why don't you just think back to that cloud place? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like you literally have, a god tier artifact in your possession, and I do stand by both of the advice I've given you, which is test the hell out of it, and also, dear gods, never use it.
Yes.
Well, I plan on testing the hell of it when I try and go get thingy.
Thingy, the GGW.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting
okay, I'll
tired.
figure out how to reword that.
Because it needs to be specific. So, goals. What are we settling on, guys? So we've got talk to the Brotherhood. We seem to be keeping that. We've got find Eumos location. Learn where Indra Lament sent us. Form a trustworthy connection on the Horizon and establish base of operations in Horizon via charisma. So
I love it. I love Bastille's Nicole. Form a trustworthy connection. I think that would be better being the one about secure a conversation. Have a secure conversation with Justoria.
We'll put that in then, if you think that. Nobody thinks.
So guys, a private meeting with Justoria.
Okay. Are any? I think the rest were staying, from what I can gather. Personal goal wise, okay. So Adri needs to specify what information about Indra Lament she's after. Obviously, Axis. So that is not.
I'll say it.
It's not a goal, but it's just mostly difficult to say. Actually, that's what that is. So.
The goal in itself.
Yeah, just pronunciation. Obviously, I know Crumbar's keeping his. Riz, you're keeping yours. So Bastiel, I just need you to hit me up with your personal goal.
Yeah.
Don't stumble over the wording. Tell me the ultimate goal. What's the end of that journey? What does it look like? Like, why start here? Where does it end? You know?
Ends with the Y.
Okay. In what way?
Just
Like her agreeing and handing
if-
over the
if
astral
we know
hammer?
about the
Is that the
empire
part?
she came from?
So there's an assumption, assuming she was part of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ends with the astral hammer. That's it.
Okay, so why not have it just explore the connections related to the Dragon Empire?
Yes.
There you go. That sounds like what you're trying to do. And it's vague enough that when you get bored, you can close it off, right?
Yeah.
Or if you feel like there's more to learn, you can keep it running.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Explore
Oh, okay.
connections to the Dragon Empire. There you go. And then there's probably about 20 ways to complete that, right?
I know specifically what I want to do anyway.
No, good. And then have a secure conversation with Justoria. I'm gonna just fix that because she's not just, she's jest. Perfect. And yeah, good.
Oh, is it Jest?
Yes,
Oh, right.
Gestoria. Yeah, not Justoria, but Gestoria. Anyway, so goals are done, and everybody gets 800 XP because one was complete, right? So
Yep.
In fact, yep, that's right.
You can give us some more if you want.
No, you just need to work for that shit.
4,400.
Is it an actual even number? Or like a more aesthetically pleasing number?
You mean 44,000?
Yes, sorry, 44,000. Because I know how to math.
How far off are we from the next checkpoint?
800,000? 8,000? 6? No, 7,000. I'm
100,000 away.
that amount.
4,000 away.
Thank you. That one.
Not bad.
Oh wait, is it 4,000? I thought it was.
You're 4,000 away.
There we are. Ah, sweet, sweet level 9. Cannot wait.
So yeah. Right. We have got ourselves up to date. I've done XP before the the end, as it were, because I sometimes just forget to actually remind you guys that, oh, the goal was complete, that's XP. But yes, so let's do a wrap up chat now. Let's start off with let's go for Bastille. Why not?
A lot of talking and we didn't die, so that helped.
Yeah, I was so proud of the not dying part.
We actually did, even though it was like it was quite tense and that almost hamstringed us a little bit. We did actually clear a decent handful of topics.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a lot about, not a lot, but Magna isn't what we thought he was, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, decent session. Good time.
And Riz?
Yeah, it was yeah, a lot of talking. I thought it was good. Like I felt like I needed that to like jump in on a high stakes convo, you know? Like because I felt like I didn't know what was like I knew like 5% of like the history of your dealings with Magna or all this, but like scenes that happened around him, and I was like, this is what I've learned recently, and I thought it's important now, and yeah, it went well. So we have a confidence boost in that regard, dealing with these high.
It's just high NPCs, yeah.
Yeah, Mark, man, he's high as shit. But and then it was good. The ending was awesome as well. Like, so Like I just like how infinite it is. I'm like really chuffed with the small things. Like even in the conversations, it just seems like I don't know, like really enveloping. Like nothing really happens, but it's like I don't know, it just feels worthy of like time. So I'm pretty a sucker for like not pushing the story on because I'm just like, yeah, this is interesting. Let's see where this goes. It's like talking for like 10 hours.
I mean, you definitely aren't allowed to get away with just joining the audiobook of the Keepers of the Golden Gate. Sadly, you know, you're part of it, buddy.
The commentary, yeah. Yeah, and then I like the end how like just doing a random task, like, oh, I'm just gonna show him my mark again, and there's like then it just ties into this whole new rare, seems like really rare moment that's gonna unfold. So that's cool how fragile that like that catalyst that can cause such a big event.
I mean, a crueler man than myself would possibly now joke to the other players that, and sadly, this was Riz's last session.
Such positive like feedback. So Riz won't be joining us this week because he's dead. So, that's good, man.
Just folds into the palm of his hand. Like,
yeah.
Oh dear. No, good. I'm glad you had fun. My favourite little scene you had was when you were like, you know, am I the one that can see? I was like, well, why does she keep giving me the eyes? That's just those little moments of like, you know, reminding people that Don Drabella is still at the table with everybody.
Yeah. She wasn't even looking as well. But they are the eyes. So it's like she's giving me the eye. Well, what's your idea of giving the eye? It's like we don't. Just translation through Mark comes out haywire. So
yeah, I mean, but he wasn't wrong. He did get you through the tower, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But it's not. It feels like you lose something every time you deal with it. It's like
yeah, patience. I think is what you lose every time you deal with them.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good fun. It was good fun. Are you?
Well, I'm not really sure. Like, I kind of had hoped that we'd find out more instead of being interrogated, and obviously that kind of like railroaded us that way. And instead of getting some clarity on what's going on, then you know, the story and her dad, now we've got even less. I don't know. It does sound like it does look like that Magna was interested in knowing the bad things going on in the hopes of him fixing them and such, and kind of disappointed that people that were supposed to be in charge of various things were suddenly not able to deal with those things. But it's still difficult for me to not see him as some sort of a grey character. So I'm a bit like, oh, I don't know what to think. And obviously now I'm just hoping that we'll find the Brotherhood and get a connection there and you know, carry on that way, because it looked like we'll get much on just from Justoria on Eremos, on you know the various other things that we're looking for to do this. So I don't know if that's on purpose from her, or because you can't really speak here, or because she generally doesn't know. But it's quite confusing in that. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to like analyze and digest and trying to figure out what's what, you know.
Yeah, that was a lot of information.
That's a lot.
Yep. That was good. That was good. Lots of good things asked. Lots of brave things asked, I thought, as well. Well, I thought it was fun. Obviously, trying to think on my feet of how to goddamn reply as these people is sometimes difficult, so that was exciting for me too. Rumbar?
I didn't get dead from Magna, which was good. Yeah, that was difficult to try and play that.
Definitely a gold star in your corner. Yep.
Yeah, trying to change my play style a little bit. So yeah, definitely was an interesting session for me. But yeah, there's just a lot to remember from it, and kind of where do we go from here? I'm wanting to kind of maybe think it could be worthwhile taking a bit more, not risks, but like split off from the party to try and divide and conquer and stuff.
I mean, yeah, like if you think you've got like a plan, it'd be good to like obviously have it out with the group. I mean, keep in mind you do have the Facebook chat if you wish to like hash out things midweek with each other. To smooth over RP on the fly. It's up to you guys, obviously, to arrange that nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Anything else, buddy?
I love you.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're loved also, buddy. Well, if that's that, then I think that's a session, right, guys? That is us. We survived dinner with Magna, so that was good.
Yeah.
I think you all did very well. Obviously, everybody's updated their sheets to reflect their new XP totals. Only 4k away from leveling to level 9, which is crazy. So that's what, 5 goals, right? Can smash that. Or lots of combat. So
I like the lots of combat.
Let's do this.
It's like just start trashing the place after the lunch. But yes, thank you all for playing. It was a pleasure, and say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, stream.
Bye.